Hey everybody, how are y'all? Happy Monday. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 9. This was a supersized episode, a phenomenal episode. Right now, Potomac is giving what the other girls were supposed to have gave. I have enjoyed these last several episodes, like so good. This is Stacey's show, just so we're clear. Stacey is everybody's storyline. Her name is in everybody's mouths. And the way they keep coming for her is crazy work. But y'all, I have so much to say. Y'all, come on in the room. First off, let me just say, y'all, I hope you guys had a phenomenal Thanksgiving. I know I did. When I tell y'all, this whole month, I am fasting because when I tell y'all, I feel like I ate so much this weekend, but I had such a great holiday weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I'm glad to be back. I missed y'all, but it was nice just to have a few days off and rest. And the way I was like, I just hope that none of these housewives do anything stupid while we're on our little break, right? But guys, let me start. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm whacking pretty much everybody except for Stacey, Monique. Yeah, everybody's gonna get it. Everybody is getting it today. That scene with Ashley and Sheila, you better hold on to that wig because when I get you, Sheila, when I get to you, girl, that scene with Ashley and her mom talking about that deadbeat bum that she is still with. I said, Sheila, it's going to be you and I when we get to that scene. And I'm not holding back my tongue. Everybody can get it. All right. So, y'all, without further ado, yes, honey, I got something for everybody today. So, I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, Brooke, you're being too hard on that one and too easy on that one. No, it's a collective whooping for everybody. Right now, Stacey is the only one who I feel she's the only one who is not doing anything wrong. The rest of them, they are all tap dancing on my last good nerve, okay? So everybody's going to get some today. So skip right over Ashley's scene, please. I don't know about that because that scene disturbed my spirit. And while I don't care for Ashley's scenes, we have to talk about that one quickly because her mother is a cautionary tale of what happens when at your big age, you are still a pick-me for men. This woman right here is out here working hard on the damn railroad to keep a piece of a man. So we have to talk about it because the girls are over here doing the same thing, and we must. So I can't. My spirit won't allow me to skip over that scene, although I do want to. We got to just whack Ashley and her mother upside the head a few good times, okay? All right, baby, big desperado. I said big time desperado. I was floored. That scene had me gagging in the worst way. I said, wait, come again? But yes, y'all. Yes, no skipping, all whooping. Exactly. Yes. Child, let's get on with the recap, okay? But I just had to, give you that disclaimer so that nobody's surprised. But here we go. All right. So we start off the episode. It's the continuation of them at the Reasonably Shady 10 million downloads party, right? That's Giselle's party, celebrating her podcast, hitting 10 million downloads. So we're back. We see that Kiarna and Stacey were going at it in the last episode. They're still going at it now. You could say what you want about Miss Stacey. Miss Stacey knows how to gather these ladies without breaking a sweat. And that's how you argue, okay? So Kiarna says, we have Kiarna asking, Kiarna's really upset with how Stacey gagged her in the last episode, saying, you don't have a husband. So Kiana says, and guess what? You don't have one either, B. So she's like, where's Timo? Where's Timo? I think she started calling him Timu. So then now, Kiana, it was lovely meeting you at BravoCon, but I just want you to know that you do look foolish in these episodes. And when I asked you at BravoCon, is it editing that's making you look like you're angry? Because why exactly are you mad at Stacey? You didn't really have a reason for why you're mad at Stacey. All you said to me was, oh, it's production and Stacey's not innocent. She's a great housewife. She's good for TV, but she's not innocent. And I'm like, but Kiana, my question still wasn't answered, because I just need to know, what exactly are we missing as the viewers as to why you have such an issue with Stacey and Stacey has done nothing to you? It makes no sense. So again, Kiana, for you to scream and holler like this, you looked foolish. I said, again, I don't know what's going on. Yes, her behavior does look lowbrow. She is clicking down. Exactly. So now you have Wendy cackling. So now Stacey's like, here we go. This is you, act a fool. And Stacey is correct, because again, Kiana, you look foolish. So Kiana says, ooh, that's a great defense mechanism. So now Tia says, well, somebody here told Chris. So Giselle points to Stacey and she says, she did. Now, Giselle, Miss Mamas, we need to have a conversation, because just when I was warming up to you and I was hopeful that we were going to get a pleasant Giselle, your behavior towards Stacey is just so mean for no reason. Like, I don't understand what the issue is. And I'm just not understanding. And again, Giselle, it's like every time I try with you, it's like you mess it up. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So Stacey says, I don't talk to Chris. So Giselle says, this one don't know girl code. She's not to be trusted around husbands or children or anybody else. Now, in my notes, I had to pause for a minute. What does that mean? She's not to be trusted around children. What are you implying? Giselle, you do this thing where why would you say that? Why would you say that? You're trying to insinuate something really dark. Why would you say that? It's like, Giselle, and for all the Giselle fans out there, my biggest question for y'all has always been, do you guys not see how your fave is just so outright nasty? Like, do you like that about her? Like, what is it? Folks always want to say, oh, folks just hate on Giselle. Nobody's hating on Giselle, because newsflash, Giselle was a lot of our favorites in season 1. I liked Giselle season 1. I thought she was funny, cool, personable, but something switched along the way. But Giselle, that was real nasty work, and that was low down vile to say she can't be trusted around children. Again, what does that mean? I was so annoyed. I was so aggravated. And Giselle, for you to say that this one right here does not know girl code, you don't know girl code. Your antics since you've gotten on this show have displayed you don't know girl code. So miss me with that. Please. Please. We can go down the list of all that you've done to people throughout the years, present and former castmates. You have done folks dirty. So how dare you? So anyhow, Stacey says, well, why don't we call the person that's accusing me of this lie? So Wendy's like, Charisse, Wendy's like, can somebody please call Charisse? And she's like, Charisse, can somebody please call Chris? Sorry about that. She says, Charisse, you know Chris, can you call him? So Ashley's like, yeah, Charisse, you have Chris's number. Give him a call. So Charisse calls Chris. And may I just say, you can tell that Charisse will do anything for a crumb of the spotlight. I said, Charisse, respectfully, when I met you at the Summer House Martha's Vineyard premiere party a few years ago, you looked great in person. I don't know what it is about you on camera where stuff isn't hitting. This wig, you look so disheveled. Like, I don't know what's going on, but production was so shady, zooming in on that disheveled wig, and Charisse is all sweaty. She's calling Chris on the phone. I said, my God. So Charisse is like, hey, Chris, it's Charisse. How are you? Just so you know, I'm filming right now. But I just want you to know we had a situation where Cookie was made to look bad. I know you guys are friends. I just want to know, did you communicate with Stacey regarding a conversation that was had a few days ago about you and Monique? Yes or no? So they all lean in to listen. And Chris is like, don't hit my line up with this BS. He says, man, I don't know what y'all, I don't know the ish that y'all people are talking about. Like, don't include me in this. The phone, he hangs up the phone. The conversation is over. So pretty much Stacey, in my opinion, is vindicated, right? Chris pretty much said, I don't know what you're talking about. Me and Stacey not talk about anything. Like, get off my phone with this. So now you have Stacey says, okay, so we're done. So we called and here we are. So Kiana says, how would he know that there was a conversation? So Stacey says, you called Chris. Now you want to accuse me of being a liar. He just told you no. Now that's what I believe too. A lot of y'all believe this as well. I don't believe that Stacey called up Chris. I believe that Kiana, when she got on that phone with Cookie, she ran her mouth to Cookie, not thinking that Cookie would run her mouth back to Chris. But I don't believe for 1 minute that Stacey called up Chris to talk about this. I don't. On top of that, Kiana, you don't think that we can see right through this plot? Like, you don't think we can see right through this stupid, like, this is so dumb. It's clear that you guys are setting up Stacey because you guys want to use her as a scapegoat this season. The viewers are not dumb. The worst thing you could ever do is play on the viewers' intelligence. You're not that bright because, again, you think that we're that dumb to know that Stacey's being set up? I highly doubt that Stacey would call up Chris. Like, what are we talking about? Yes, Cookie wants that man. She does want him. It's clear that she wants him. There's obviously some crush. It's a one-sided connection on her end. She wants to be more than just friends. And of course, they all hate Stacey. So now they want to pin this on Stacey and act like we're dumb. And so, yes, I don't care about this storyline either. And also, can we talk about all Cookie's charges? Go Google all of Cookie's charges. She's the last one to be calling anybody a fraud. It's so weird how they're taking her word over Stacey's, but it shows you that the hate for Stacey is that strong. Stacey's powerful. Stacey is powerful, honey. Oh, yes, call it out. The timing doesn't even work for the lie they're telling. Stacey would have had to call that man from the table. Exactly. Exactly. So now Stacey says, no, Ashley and a few other people say, oh, well, you lie. So, of course, Giselle says, nothing would convince me that she didn't tell him. I said, Giselle, we all know how you operate. When Giselle does not like somebody, whatever they do, she's not going to be on their side, right? So we know that. The same way she did Wendy in previous seasons, when she hated Wendy, when Wendy got her head, hit upside her head by Mia, she was sitting up there laughing and saying, well, I don't care. So, of course, she's not going to believe Stacey, despite Chris saying, I don't know what you're talking about. This never happened. Get off my phone with this. You don't want to believe her because you don't like her. Let's just call a spade. Let's just be honest. So now, Tia says, do I believe Stacey? Of course I believe her. I also believe that pigs fly. So of course she's saying that I don't believe her. Now, Tia, I'm sorry, but it's giving that you want to be with the cool girls, because for you to have all this smoke for Stacey and to call her a liar, it's not adding up to me. And Tia, I really do. I think that you're a good addition, but I'm just not here for this, you adding on to this pile on when it comes to Stacey. It looks really crazy. You said Tia is a flop. Tia is a follower, child. Yes, we were rooting for you. She has a reason to be upset with Stacey, though. I mean, I guess she's upset that Stacey wasn't truthful about not going to dinner on the double date with her and Wendy. I can get that, but it's not. The punishment does not fit the crime. You get what I'm saying? She should not be this upset about that, in my humble opinion. So now we have Stacey saying, it's very clear to me that no matter what I do or what I say, everybody always questions me. I could care less. I said, girl, that's the only way to move, because, honey, the way they are determined to get you off of this show, do not let them see you sweat. I'm here for it. So now we have Jazzy point out that Greg is right there, Kiana's boyfriend. And so, they turn around and say hi to him. So now Giselle's like, all right, well, I'm going to go get a shot at the bar, celebrate my accomplishment. And now, we see everybody mingling. We see Ashley flirting with Wale from Love Hotel. And now we see Jazzy, Charisse, Angel, and Tia at a table talking. So Jazzy says, Stacey has been cool with every single person I see sitting around the table, but it's like, what happened? So now here comes Charisse with some stale tea. So Charisse says, the last time that me and Stacey hung out, which was 5 months ago, by the way, she says, we met these guys, but they were all married. So she's like, the guy that Stacey liked went to the bathroom, and he says, and he turns around, and the other guy sitting down says to Stacey, you guys like each other, but just so you know, he's married. So she says, and then the trick turns and looks at him and says, what does it have to do with me? Charisse, I'm getting real tired of this stale tea from you. And I'm just not believing that Stacey said, what does that have to do with me? And, I don't care that he's married. Like, I'm just not buying this. I'm really not. Charisse is giving a scheme that Todd set up. Like, is giving that Giselle put you up to this so that you can get back on the show. And I'm not trying to be mean, Charisse, but the ship has sailed. Bravo does not see it for you anymore. Your time came and went. You gave us a cute 2.5 seasons, and that's it. Just live your life as a private citizen and go on about your business, please. But this stale tea, I just said, girl, yeah, stale tea and frumpy outfits, very much so. She's trying very hard. I said, Charisse, even if she did, she could have been playing. It's just not giving. Yeah, it's not giving. It's not. We do see her in the mid-season, so you might be right. The fans don't see it for her either. No. It's just like Charisse always coming in with tea, and after 10 years, it's still nothing to offer. No, it's very true. Oh, thank you so much. If that's true, Charisse told on herself trying to set a trap for Stacey. That's hilarious to me. Yes, it's just like, Charisse, you find a way to make yourself look bad at every single turn. And that's not a good look for you to be sitting up there with a whole bunch of married men anyway. So the joke is on you as well, girl. You both look silly if that's the truth. But Charisse, I'm just not buying it. I'm just not. And I'm understanding more and more why Karen does not F with you, because you act so desperate. It's crazy. Also, you know who's also a Charisse Jr. in the desperation category? Vivian. It's clear that Vivian wants to be on this show badly as well. Because why was Vivian here during this scene? And she's like, oh my gosh, really? Like, girl, we don't care about you, Vivian. Like, it's no shade. But like, Bravo didn't even make you a friend of. You were a friend to the friend of last season. We never saw it for you, Vivian. So please. Selling those outdated dresses from 15 years ago that nobody wants. And that gown that you had on in this scene, it was not flattering. And it was so dated. But I said, girl, not too much. Not too much. Talk about, oh my gosh, what? Like, it's enough. They're not, like, it's bad when you're not even getting paid the day rate. Bravo doesn't even see you, like, you're not even, they don't really care about you that much. They won't even give you the day rate. You're maybe getting a $50 gas card. Maybe, if that. Maybe. But I just said, again, stop, please. Vivian was doing too much. She wanted to be seen so bad. Child, you said Vivian had that faux fur shawl while everyone is sweating bullets. Yeah, like, why are we wearing faux fur in June? They filmed Potomac during the summertime, May through August. Why does she have on a faux fur wrap, shawl, pashmina? Why do you have that on in the dead of summer? Stop it. It's ridiculous. Why was she even mic'd up? Child, she probably paid for her own mic and put a mic pack on her back. They probably didn't even give her own mic. She probably bought her own mic. A mess. Yes, honey, it's a big flop. They don't want her on the show. I told you I'm getting everybody, honey. Nobody is spared in this recap. So anyhow, we have Wendy and Stacey off to the side. Wendy's helping Stacey out. She's dabbing Stacey's skin because Stacey's skin is all oily because she got sweaty arguing with Kiana and all that stupidness, right? And listen, y'all, I feel Stacey's pain with that. Y'all know I have oily skin. I will take out my oil blotters in a minute, honey, and just, do a little dab to make sure I'm not oily. Wait, I feel like I'm oily right now, honey. Let me make sure I'm good. Let me make sure I'm good before we continue, honey. But yes, Stacey, girl, me and you, I have the oiliest skin known to man, okay? Baby, thank God for these, okay? So y'all have me screaming in this chat. Yes, honey, shout out to the oil blotters, okay? Yes. Right at Sephora. Listen, honey, I keep one in every single purse, okay? So now, you said give it to Cookie. So now, Wendy says, girl, they had you up against the ropes. So Stacey says, yes, honey, put some Vaseline on my eyes because, I've been fighting with these girls. So now we have Giselle and Wendy talking, right? And Giselle says, Wendy, just so you know, Angel came up to me and let me know that she has some smoke for you. So Wendy's like, oh, really? She has smoke for me? So now Giselle's like, Angel, come over here. You have some smoke for Wendy. Come on over here. Let's sort this whole thing out. Now, here's another thing that I will always preach to the new girls. Please do not vent to Giselle Bryant. Giselle is not somebody that you vent to because Giselle's going to make sure that you stand 10 toes down in what you said to her 5 minutes ago. So, Angel, you have made a mistake right here, even telling Giselle that you were mad at Wendy. A mess. So, Angel comes over and Wendy's like, you got smoke for me? I said, wait, hold on. I will keep saying this. Despite what's going on with Wendy, this really is Wendy's best season. I will keep saying, Wendy is in her veteran era. And the fact that, Wendy, I will say, girl, however I feel about you, girl, this really is your best season yet. Because, Wendy was with it, right? So Wendy's like, I heard you got some smoke for me. So Angel says, it's just more that you don't treat me right. So Wendy's like, I don't treat you right. So Angel says, no, you don't. You're dismissive and you're snide, like you're being right now and very passive aggressive. Now, here's my thing with this, Angel. Your feelings are valid, and I won't take that away from you. I can see Dr. Wendy being dismissive and snide. Everybody on this show can be dismissive and snide at times, right? Everybody. My thing is, I feel like you're conflating so many different issues that now I'm confused as to what is the real issue, because this argument just really went left, and I feel like it could have been resolved in 5 minutes. And on top of that, we keep going around and around the mulberry bush when it comes to the issues between you and Giselle and you and Dr. Wendy. It's the same conversation. And it's like, I can't listen to it anymore. Okay? Listen. So, Wendy says, no, I'm being direct. And she says, hold on, let me just say this. Guys, I'm aware that there is breaking news, but right now we're here to talk about Potomac. So please, let's focus on Potomac. Please don't mention the breaking news on other franchises. We'll talk about that in another live. But right now, the focus is on Potomac, okay? So let's get back to Potomac. But we'll talk about the other news in another video, but not right now. Thank you. So anyhow, Wendy says, no, I'm being direct. And let me tell you this. I'm not the one with the issue I'm not the one to have a problem with, because I don't have an issue with you. It's one-sided beef. So now Angel says, see, this is what I'm talking about. You're being dismissive and gaslighting me, and you can try to psychoanalyze me if you want to. So Wendy says, I don't need to. I can tell what you were thinking while you were talking to me. So Angel says, oh yeah, because you're Miss Cleo, right? So Wendy says, well, yesterday Tia told me that Angel was upset with me because when we were at the airport going to Nevis, I didn't say hi to her. So she says, you saw me at the airport, correct? Angel says, yes, I did see you. So Wendy says, well, why didn't you say hi to me? So Angel says, well, you didn't say hi to me either. I said, look, regarding that whole airport story about nobody said hi to me, Angel, I remember you saying that the group did not say hi to you. You said, nobody said hi to me. I can't believe this. I've never seen this behavior. And we did see the flashback, and production showed that Ashley, Giselle, and I believe Stacey, they all hugged you and said hello to you at the airport. So it went from the group did not say hi to me. So we saw that the majority did, to now is Wendy didn't say hi to me. It's just like, Angel, Lord willing, you will come on my channel because I have so many questions. I'm just like, I feel like we're talking about the same thing, right? And I'm trying to root for Angel. She was lovely at BravoCon. But in these episodes, like Angel, I'm like, girl, Miss Mamas, help me help you. Because right now, it's just hard to watch. It really is. So now, and Wendy, I will give Wendy that point, like, but girl, it's a two-way street. You can also say hi to me as well. So like, I get it. And like, you guys have, like you guys weren't really meshing. So I understand why she might've been hesitant to speak to you. So it's like, again, we should not still be talking about the same things from episodes 3 and 4 when we're in episode 9, in my humble opinion. But Angel, Lord willing, you'll come on my channel and I will ask you all the questions in a respectful way, obviously. And I want you to set the record straight for me and my subscribers, because honey, we are sitting up here confused, okay? So anyhow, she says, so now Ashley brings up the catfish comment. And she says, Wendy, I just want to clear something up. Are you the one who originated the whole catfish comment? Because Angel believes that, you brought it up. We all know that Giselle is the one who said the whole catfish comment, not Wendy. Wendy was cackling in the background, but Wendy did not say it. So now Stacey jumps in and she's like, how did this come from Wendy? Giselle was the one who said it. So Wendy's like, wait, let's just dead this whole thing right now. So now Stacey interrupts again and says, wait, Giselle is the one who said the whole catfish comment, not Wendy. So Giselle interrupts and says, yes, I said it. So Wendy says Angel wants to have a problem because Giselle said it. So Giselle owns it again that yes, she was the one who said the whole catfish thing. And so Wendy says, instead of you coming for Giselle, you want to come for me? So now Angel says, well, Giselle and I had a conversation. And Wendy's like, you know what, girl, it's done. So Angel says, here it is, another example of you being dismissive. So Wendy says, no, this is another example of you falling flat. So I was just like, oh. I said, all right. I said, okay. I said, Wendy, who you feeling like? I said, damn. I said, oh, what? I said, what? Now, hold on. Angel, did we miss something? Did we miss something along the way? Is there something that we missed behind the scenes? The catfish comment happened in episode 4. This is episode 9. You and Giselle already spoke about the whole catfish comment. Giselle apologized to you 6 times. I counted. We thought this was over and done with. Why are we now talking about, well, Wendy said it and now I'm still hurt about it? The whole catfish conversation was put to bed weeks ago. That was in October when that episode aired. We are now in December. Angel, I need you on my show expeditiously because I have so many questions. I said, oh my gosh, honey, listen, I just feel like we should not be talking about this anymore. Okay? I'm telling you right now, if I hear about catfish in episode 10 for this next episode, I'm going to, like, literally, we might not have a recap. It might be an hour of me, like, literally just like sobbing on the screen. Like, why are we talking about this? So, and again, Wendy has her things, right? Wendy is not perfect by far, right? But in this whole catfish conversation, we all know that Wendy did not say that. It was Giselle who said that, period. So now Angel walks away and says, I'm done. Angel says, no, thank you, no, thank you. And Wendy says, you're saying no, thank you, like we want you here. I was just like, well, I was like, damn, like, oh, I said, damn. I said, girl, who's writing these reads for you? Because Wendy was never reading like this. I said, all right. I said, okay. Again, if there's something that we are not seeing, if production has chopped something out, I would like to know that. Because I'm just surprised that Angel and Wendy are still in this spot when we are episodes past the catfish and the whole what was it, the Preakness brunch where they went at it at the table. Like, I just don't know what's going on. So, a mess. So now we have Kiarna jumping in, and she says, are we still having the same chat? So Stacey says, here comes her Siamese twin. Get on the piggyback, get on her back. I said, and Stacey's mouth is lethal too. I said, not get on the piggyback. I said, okay, like the Siamese twin. I said, Stacey, baby, Stacey was like, girl, she's not here for Miss Kiarna, and I was here for her reading Kiarna down. All right, honey. Kiarna, I said, quit while you are ahead, please. Stacey was packing you up. Stacey, she was good and ready, honey. The girls are reading. They sure are, baby. It was a tag team. So now Wendy says, Kiarna says, girl, you just got off the back. You just got off the back. I don't know what she was trying to say. I said, girl, what are you talking about? Like, her read made no sense. It was flopping. So of course Kiarna resorts to screaming and yelling and hollering. And Wendy's like, can you guys stop? We're at an event. Like, can y'all not do this right here? And I said, no, Wendy, don't say y'all. Direct this to Kiarna. Kiarna is the one acting a fool. All right. It's not Stacey. It's Kiarna. So Stacey says, what do you guys have to talk about besides me? I said, Stacey said, girl, I'm really that girl. Like, you really spend all your days talking about little old me. Like, I live rent free in your mind. Like, I said, come through, Stacey. So Kiarna's like, everything. Now, Kiarna, I don't know why you kept making these faces. I don't know what this whole act was, but I had secondhand embarrassment. I said, girl, what is this? But Kiarna keeps saying everything. She says, my life, my condo, my businesses, my man. I said, girl, I would not be out here claiming Greg and all his foolishness. And I know you get upset when you see the commentary about Greg on social media. I know it pains you, but girl, respectfully, I would not be sitting up there claiming Greg. Stop. And all the theatrics with it. My man, my businesses, my condo, my life, my car. Like, it was like, girl, what are we doing? Like, it was very much a chop. So Stacey was like, the only time you speak up is when it's about me. I said, yes, that's the truth. So Kiarna's like, what do you have going on? So Stacey says, well, I have a husband and a ring and you don't. I said, now listen, y'all know how I feel. having a man and saying you don't have a man to somebody, you don't have a ring, that's not a read. But in this context, in this conversation, in this argument, where when you know that a woman is a pick me and wants a ring so bad, that's the only time that it can be used as a read. And Stacey ate her right on up. She said, baby, I have two things that you don't possess. All right. A real man and a real ring. All you have is a hope and a dream and a concept of a ring and maybe a proposal if you're lucky. But I said, honey, she ate down. Yes, and then in this case, it checks. Exactly. Sometimes the truth is a read within itself. Exactly. You say your man's ashy feet. So, you know, she sees when you guys comment. Well, when we all talk about the ashy feet, just so you know, she does see it, and she's not pleased with the child. So. But Greg, that's his fault. Greg should have lotioned up. He should have hit some Aveeno, some Nivea on those ankles before he came on that camera, acting a fool, okay? So now, Stacey says, oh no, Kiana says, and I don't want that ring. It's cloudier than an MF. So Stacey says, oh, is it? That's probably because it's cloudy compared to nothing. Stacey had me screaming. You don't understand how loud I was howling. Like I was on the floor. I said, cloudy compared to nothing. The girls are not seeing Stacey. You could say what you want about Stacey. The girls are not seeing her. You said Jazzy looked down to check if it was actually cloudy, though. It was the up and down look for me from Stacey. Honey, she chewed her up. I was over there taking notes. Like, you know what? Let me use this when the time comes. You said you were curling your wig and nearly burned yourself on that. Baby, honey, I got my entire life in this episode. You don't understand. This episode gave me so much. I started off my notes by saying, I cannot wait to go live for this episode because I was so excited to talk to y'all, honey. Honey, she was reading down for filth. So, what really took me out, you don't understand. I thought that I was gonna have to call 911 because the way I had to be carried out at one point, when Stacey pointed to, not only did she show her ring, but when she pointed to Kiana's empty ring finger, I said, Stacey, you are determined to have us all like choking. Like you don't understand the scream that I scrumped, right? Like y'all don't get it. Like I was in tears, like sobbing down. That's how hard I was laughing. I said, Kiana, if you had any sense, if you had a crumb of sense in your pea brain, you would walk away, back away slowly, pack up whatever dignity you have left, and get on that elevator and head home, please. That was, it was just lethal reads one after another, and you were standing there looking stupid. Kiana, I said, honey, it's okay to tap out. It's okay to say, you know what? It's time for me to go on home. So now she says, go run after Greg, go beg. I said, oh, how do you recover from that? Another grown woman told you, go run after a man, go beg. And she shooed her away like she was a fly or something. I said, oh, Stacey, this was so delicious. I said, oh, phenomenal. They're not seeing Stacey, and you can argue with me all you want. They're not seeing Stacey, period. So now you have Kiana. Now Kiana was real pressed because why are we bringing up season 9? She's like, oh, well, let's talk about a man that you had to pay for. What was his name? TJ? Did you pay TJ? Stacey said, baby, that's so old news. That's so 2023. We're here in 2025. Baby, stop. Like Cynthia said, what else is going on? Like, baby, that's such old tea, such stale tea that we don't care about. We've moved on. master class, okay? So now Kiana says, I know a tired ass hoe when I see one. That's how you know that somebody has lost the argument. When you have to resort to name calling and calling somebody a bitch or a hoe or what, a slut or a whore, that's how I know that you've lost. That's how I know that you've lost, and I no longer am interested. I'm no longer interested in trying to go back and forth with you because you're not articulate, you're not smart. That's the best you can come up with. Now she's a tired ass hoe. Really? Kiana, you got packed up and you looked crazy. It is what it is. I said, Kiana, this was embarrassing. Oh, you said that was a self-read. Oh, listen, honey, that whole entire read was lazy. It was tired. Yes, they're scrambling to find something to use against you. Exactly. A hoe with a husband while you're still begging. Child, she might as well have called her a stupid face. Exactly. Don't tell me what has been. Tell me what's now. Exactly. Come through, Nene. Exactly. Honey, that was, yeah, we see each other. That read, that wasn't even a read. Yes, she can't argue correctly. We see each other, y'all. We see each other. That was so tired and stale. Okay. So now you have, she's pointing her finger in Stacey's face, all aggressive. So Wendy comes in between them and starts dancing. She does not want things to escalate between them. And so you have Kiana saying once again, here you are, a tired ass hoe from Detroit. Kiana, you lost the argument. You lost the argument. First of all, the read did not land the first time. It damn sure did not land a second time. And you adding that she's from Detroit. You sounded crazy. Stacey continued to pack you up because Stacey says, look at your face. You look like a troll. I said, Kiana, please see yourself out the door. Thank you for your services. In the words of Shawnee O'Neal, thank you for your services. This was such a sad display, and you are no match when it comes to a battle of the wits. Stacey's very witty, and she's charming, and she knows how to get the girls together. And you have to resort to name calling, cursing, and calling folks out their names. That you're not a reader. I'm sorry, you're not a reader. If you have to call me a bitch or a hoe or a slut or whatever, then you're not a reader. You're not a reader. If you have to resort to bringing up, folks that people have slept with, you're not a reader. Period. If you have to resort to that, you've lost. You've lost. You lost. Kiana, you lost this. You lost the battle and you lost the war. You did. You looked ridiculous. Child. So now Kay's like, don't do me. And Stacey says, no, that's you. So now Stacey is heading out of the event. She stops to compliment Giselle at the bar. She says, Giselle, congratulations on your success. It was a beautiful event. I'm leaving. So as Giselle, Giselle says thank you. Stacey says good night and leaves. So as she's waiting for the elevator, Jazzy and Wendy run after her and they're like, are you leaving? Really? Like, don't leave. Jazzy's like, I haven't seen you since my wedding. And Stacey says, yes, open your eyes, honey. I'm not welcome here. So now Wendy's like, why are you leaving? And now Giselle comes running over there and she's like, if you're going to go, please go. Like, please go. So Stacey says, yes, I've already pushed the button to go. I'm waiting on the elevator to open. And Giselle says, yeah, I'm pushing it for you. Giselle, I've truly tried this season, right? I truly thought that maybe, just maybe, we might be getting season 1 Giselle again, where I liked you. It's too easy to say that you're hateful. It's too easy. It's like the sky is blue and Giselle, I just don't know why you resort to being such a mean girl at your big age. There is nothing objectively speaking, there is nothing that Stacey has done that is so bad that warrants you treating her like this. You running after her to tell her to leave and kick her out the party and embarrass her. What? Like, for what? And you get so much glee when you do that. I was too done. And you know what? If out of spite, just to piss you off, I would have walked back into the party and said, you know what? I'm not on, on second thought, I'm not leaving. I'm gonna sit here and have a drink, eat this food, and y'all just stay away from me. Period. I was so irritated. I was like, wow, like what was the purpose of doing that? You already know that she's leaving. The elevator button has already been pressed. You look so dumb pressing it several other times. Like, what's going on? I said, girl, and you know what, Giselle? What's happening with Stacey is the definition of your enemies as your footstool, because with each passing episode, you guys are pushing Stacey into being the new face of the show. Stacey is getting MVP of this season, hands down. Nobody is seeing her right now. She is carrying the show on her back right now. She is everybody's storyline. And you're with all of the hate that she gets every single week, you guys are pushing her into icon status. So your plan is backfiring. And Stacey is definitely getting first chair at this reunion. Be clear about that. Stacey is getting first chair. And if they have Karen come back, Karen will be first chair and Giselle will be second seat. You heard it here first. If I think that, I have a feeling that Karen's gonna be coming back to this reunion. So if that's the case, Karen and Stacey will be first chair and Giselle will be second chair. In my humble opinion. Just saying. So anyhow, Stacey leaves. And now, before Stacey leaves, Jazzy's like, Giselle, are you upset with Stacey too? And Giselle says, I don't like what I've heard and I need to marinate on it. I said, okay, like, all right. We see Angel talking to Bobby. She says, I told you I was going to say something to her. She was nasty. She was dismissive. Bobby says, let it be water off of a duck's back, mama. Again, Angel, I think that you and Bobby in person are lovely. You're lovely. And like, again, I can always give the girls their 10s, right? Beautiful, lovely, very lovely in person. But Angel, right now, what I'm seeing on my TV screen in these last few episodes, this whole discussion about catfish, tilapia, salmon, it's got to stop. We can't spend 5 or 6 episodes on the same raggedy topic. Enough with this. We thought we moved past this when Giselle apologized to you. It's got to stop. And Angel, this is the fastest way to lose people, when you harp on issues. And again, reality TV is not for those who are so hypersensitive where they cannot get over things. You have to be able to get over things quickly. You have these women coming after Stacey at every single turn. If she's able to get over it and be good, you need to shake stuff off too. Because we can't go episodes 10 through 18 with you still talking about the catfish stuff. Respectfully. Yes, even Bobby's like, I don't want, he was just like, oh my gosh, it's not that deep, honey. Let this roll off your back, please. It's got to stop. No, for real, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And I say that with love. But it's got to stop. We don't want to hear this in the second half of this season. We still have, I believe, 9 more episodes left. So we have got to turn the corner at some time, and this has got to stop. Just my 2 cents. Okay? Enough. Please. We're going to give it to Jesus. Angel, let this be the last episode where you bring this up. So now we now jump to Stacey at home, and she's making a homemade pizza with her daughter, Arabella. Timo comes home. Stacey says, "Thank God I have people who love and support me." We see Timo and Stacey sneak a kiss on the patio. And she says, "As I walked out of that party and out of that negativity, I remember that I'm walking into everything that sustains me as a wife and a mother." So, they're sitting down to eat the pizza that they've made. The pizza looked good too. And their daughter is adorable. So she says that she's thinking about pizza night with her husband and her child. She's not thinking about going on a date with another woman's husband. So now Stacey says, it's us three forever. The producer goes on to ask if Timo's living in the house with her. Stacey says no, but he is spending a lot of time at the house. We're not putting any labels on anything. I don't want to confuse her. We just told her that we got a divorce. We can't be like, oh, now we're back together. We're adults and the adults lead. Now, here's my thing about this, Stacey. I'm pretty sure that your daughter has a vibe that something is rekindled with her parents. On top of that, you are going to have to have the conversation with Arabella as she's watching this season, because I'm sure she's hearing at school that, her parents are now seeing each other, right? On top of that, for you to say that we're not putting labels on what we have going on, but you're referring to him as your husband and you're his wife, Stacey, I'm gonna need you to also have your story straight, because girl, which one is it? Are you guys seeing where things are going, or is that your husband? You said that wasn't DiGiorno. Wait, not y'all bringing up when TJ made that pizza, that frozen pizza last season with that 25-cent hug drink. Not y'all bringing up season 9, honey. You have me screaming. You said way better than that Tostitos that TJ bought. Oh my gosh. You said $6.99, baby. Y'all are really roasting their pizza. Y'all have me screaming. Yes, but I can see Timo also want to take it slow. Yeah, regarding Arabella, it's a very German thing to do. Baby, TJ hated that lady. I mean, honey, TJ was good and broke. Good and broke. He couldn't even bother to order Domino's or Pizza Hut. Not even Papa John's. He's sitting up there putting a $5.99 pizza out on display for the world to see. A mess. Okay. So anyhow, Stacey brings up that she has a lot going on for her business, Shayo. We know that she has a cannabis line, and Shayo is the name of it. It's a Nigerian name. So she says she's doing meet and greets, going to the dispensaries. And then she's like, Bella, what do you think about Shayo? Her daughter, again, is so adorable. She was like, I think it's really cool that you have a gummy bear brand. So Stacey and the ex-husband, boyfriend, I don't know what to call him. Let's just say Timo, right? But they both laugh. And now Stacey says, Arabella does not understand the whole cannabis industry, but she does understand that mommy has a line of gummies that make people feel good and joyous and happy. So now we cut to that, again, a cute little scene, not a whole lot to say. Good luck to Timo and Stacey when it comes to rekindling and getting back together, right? So now we have Ashley at home. This scene vexed my spirit, and I'm going to warn you right now. We're going to spend some time on this topic. So if you're somebody who wants me to, get over it and get through it, the scene, I'm telling you right now, don't get in this live chat talking crazy, because we gotta just talk about this scene, honey, because I was too done. We must. I was vexed watching this. This is so disgraceful. This is so disgraceful. Ashley and her mother, Sheila. And I don't care. And I've been real nice to Sheila. I've been real nice to Sheila, but I've just we gonna have a real conversation today. So we see Ashley's mom come over. They're outside on the patio, talking. Ashley is no, Sheila's asking about Josh. So Ashley's saying a whole bunch of nothing. She says, we do need to be realistic about things. I don't need any more kids. Marriage would be a plus, not a necessity at this point. I've been there, done that. And he hasn't done either one of those things, right? So she says that she was talking to her Uncle Lump the other day, and he was telling her to let Josh go. One thing about it, Uncle Lump is the only one in Ashley's family that has some sense. I enjoy every time he's on the screen because he knows what's going on, okay? So she goes on to say, me and Uncle Lump also discussed your relationship too. You're an adult. You make your own decisions that are, even though they're hard for me. And now she says, but Uncle Lump did say that the same way that I'm living my life, I need to respect, you know, how you live your life, Mom. So we find out that Ashley's mother, Sheila, is working 12 to 13 hours a day. And the man that Sheila is laid up with does not have a job. Ashley said, I don't know what the hell that man is doing. He's twiddling his thumbs all damn day. Sheila, I know that your mind is gone. This is the definition of being dick hungry at old age. Because you mean to tell me at your big age, you are sitting up there talking about, well, you know, it's okay. I like to work. Women should not be out here working harder than the man they're laying up with. If that man needs to get 3 jobs, he needs to get 3 jobs. The fact that you're sitting up here on your feet for 13, 14, 15 hours and he's at home, he expects you to bring home the bacon fried up in a pan. Like this is outrageous to me. And for Sheila to say out of her mouth, well, I don't mind. I like to work hard. Are you insane? And I'm trying to keep it cute because if you really knew what I was saying in my head, this live would be demonetized and y'all would be like, Brooke, what? Like, did you really say that? Yeah, I'm trying to control it. I'm trying to control it. I'm trying to control myself because I was getting angrier and angrier as this scene went on. I was livid. So you have Ashley's like, I want you to choose to work. I don't want you to have to work. You should not be working this hard. And Ashley, it's a sad day when I agree with you, but you are correct. Your mother should not be working this hard, especially laying up with a man. So she says, Mom, it's not a choice. You have no choice but to pay your mortgage and put the food on the table for this man. We find out that this bum that her mom has been with, this is not even her husband, mind you, okay? So they've been together for 23 years. He has an alcohol problem, and it affects how he interacts with Sheila and Ashley's sister. And you can read between the lines of what she meant when she said it affects how he interacts with them. You know what you can pick up what she was putting down when she said that. So you know it must be chaos in that household. So she says, you know, it affects his motivation to work. And it's really hard to see. Now, for those of y'all who watch Salt Lake City, you know that there's a woman on the show named Brittany who's a deadbeat mother. She's chasing DICK over her own children. Sheila had that same vacant look in her eyes the way Brittany does when they tell her about herself. Sheila was sitting there looking, you know what? Let me Sheila, I said, you should feel ashamed of yourself. Sheila was looking at Ashley like Ashley was speaking in another language. Sheila was looking at Ashley like, girl, can you wrap this up, please? Like, I don't want to hear what you're saying. Like, she was staring into space at one point. I said, this is so sad. Child, Sheila needs to go see the lady immediately. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So now, Ashley's like, listen, you've had health scares, you have heart disease, you have high blood pressure, and a part of this is due to this man being a bum and not helping and doing his part. So you have Ashley's like, well, Ashley's mom, no, so Sheila says, well, you're right. And she says that she does get sick a lot. She gets sick sometimes. She says the other day she was throwing up blood. I said, let me tell you something. I will say this until I am blue in the face. Listen to me. I don't care how old you are. Women, please do not date or marry down. Listen, y'all, please. A man with nothing to lose will help you lose everything. Write that down if you have to. These men will suck your life force. The fact that Ashley's mom has health ailments, she has heart disease, hypertension, high blood pressure, throwing up blood, all because she's with this. Y'all, please take your life seriously. Stop being desperate. And stop being desperate for a man. The fact that Sheila is going to sit here and run herself ragged just so she can say she has a man in the house is wild to me. And Ashley was just talking to her and it was falling on deaf ears. And the saddest part is when Ashley said, you're not even 60 yet, Mom. I said, she's not even 60? I'm going to say this. You can sit up here and play around with these bums all you want to. You think it's fun and games, but I promise you, when you have a whole bunch of issues and problems and your life is down in the toilet, you'll see why that happened. A no good man will drag you down. Y'all, please, there are too many stories of women being unalived by the bums that they're with. These men get jealous. The fact that you're working to provide for a man, that's already against the laws of nature. This is sick. I said, I don't want to see this on my screen anymore when it comes to Ashley talking sense to her mom. I don't want to see this. This whole entire scene was a shame. I said, Sheila, this is so pathetic that you are not going to listen to your daughter. A mess. But let this be a lesson. You want to sit up there and lay with bums and date bums and live with bums and marry one, some no good man, and you're sitting up there working. You're working 3 or 4 jobs for a man. That's out of order. And you need to look at yourself in the mirror and ask, where did things go wrong? Because something is horribly wrong if you're sitting up there providing for a man. That's nasty work. A mess. And Sheila was staring. Sheila was looking like, I don't care what you're saying. I need to, make my money for this man. Like, this is wild. A mess. Just that scene had me vexed. I said, girl, no, ma'am. I rebuke this. She's scared to be alone. This is her normal. This is very much that. This is beyond fear. I mean, her mind is so twisted. Sheila's like, I'm the mother. Hush. Yeah, that was her demeanor sitting on that couch. She was like, don't worry about me, honey. I'm your mom. Like, just, relax. It's going to be okay. Like, tomorrow is a new day. It was very dismissive. Like, girl, I don't care what you're talking about. I want my man. A mess. Yes, they'll be giving like, Ashley's hating on her. Exactly. That's exactly what it was. The D can't be that good because he's always drunk. Exactly. But you know what though? You have so many women who just want a man. They just want a man by any means, child. They just want a man. She doesn't care if it works, if it doesn't work, if it's good, if it's bad, just to say that she has a piece of a man. Sheila's been doing this for 23 years. A mess. Child, a mess. I was disgusted by that scene. Disgusted. So now, anyhow, we can move on. But now we see Jazzy and Darius are at home. And we see Wendy comes over. Now, I thought Wendy looked cute. She had a cute pink blazer on, cute outfit. Now, baby, Wendy came. I feel like Wendy is one of the only housewives on this cast that will not come empty-handed. Because the other ladies will come somewhere empty-handed. I'm gonna be whacking them for that. But Wendy pulls up. Wendy came in with a good champagne. She said, "Oh no, honey, we're gonna do Ace of Spades." I said, "Oh, okay, so come through." I said, "Honey, she was spending that money." But she comes through with a bottle of Ace of Spades. I said, "All right." But I said a few episodes ago, though, she was struggling to open up the bottle of Moet that was only 60. But hey, whatever. Probably took it back and then exchanged it for the Ace of Spades for Jazzy's. But yes, honey, the Ace of Spades was a nice touch. Okay, y'all have me screaming in the chat. So now, Jazzy says, I brought out the good stuff for you, girl. And Jazzy had a nice spread. So Wendy says, Stacey really needs it. And Jazzy says, yes, I hated to see her all over the place at that event. So she says, I want my girls to know that I miss her, and I'm grateful that she came to my wedding. And now we see Stacey arrive. So Stacey, I think that you are a phenomenal housewife. But here's this is like my only gripe with Stacey, right? Stacey has this horrible tendency to show up to somebody's house empty-handed. And it's all the time. Like if she goes to anybody's house, she's always empty-handed. She's ready to eat and drink, but she's there with nothing. I'm just like, Stacey, girl, I know that we are prim and proper, but I need you to live up to that. You don't go to anybody's house empty-handed. Stacey. So Stacey, I need us to work on that, right? Because you and your castmates are notorious for doing that. It drives me insane. Stacey comes in and she's there to sit down and eat and gossip with both Jazzy and Wendy. And Wendy's like, girl, can we talk about what happened while you were at the party? No, Stacey says, can we talk about what happened after I left Giselle's event? And Wendy says, girl, can we talk about what happened when you were there? So now we cut to a parallel scene with everybody else, and they're at Angel's house, right? So it's Angel, Kiarna, Tia, Ashley, and Giselle. Now, the same way I just got on Stacey about coming empty-handed, why are y'all coming empty-handed? Giselle, you're another one. You are notorious for coming empty-handed. What is going on? What's with that? I mean, come on. It's already bad enough that, Potomac is now looked at as one of the wealthier franchises, but, come on, like, don't give cheap and broke as a franchise. Give us something. Ashley came empty-handed. I was shocked that Tia came empty-handed. Now, Tia, you're royalty, so I was shocked that you came without anything. I said, all right, okay. Potomac is one cheap cast. I won't invite you guys over because you guys don't know how to be good guests. A mess. But anyhow, they're all at Angel's, and Angel has a nice spread for them. She says, I think that I found the house that I want to buy. It's in Potomac. So she says, it's move-in ready. It's 9 bedrooms. Now, in my notes, I wrote, is it Monique and Chris Samuel's old house? Because remember that their house was 9 bedrooms in Potomac too. So I wonder if it's Monique's house. I'm just joking. I know it's not, but just thought I would add that in there, right? So now they sit down to eat and gossip. And as she's like, oh, where are the kids, Angel? And Angel says, oh, there's a path out to the river. I think Bobby and the kids went down there. And Angel says, yeah, I think y'all will like him more than me. He's ready all the time to be shady. So now Tia says, Giselle, maybe you should have Bobby on your podcast. So Giselle says, yeah, everybody wants to be on my podcast. So now Giselle says, one thing that Stacey's going to do is bring the group together. They're all going to trauma bond over Stacey. So when we get together to trash her, it's a key. So Giselle, for you to be proud of trashing another woman for no reason is, I mean, I'm sorry, that's a new low even for you. Stacey has not done anything to you to warrant all this hate. On top of that, what are we talking about a trauma bond? What has been traumatic about Stacey being in this group? Can somebody let me know in the chat? Because I'm confused. Am I missing something? Did I miss an episode? Because what has Stacey done that's so bad that you guys have to trauma bond over? Yes, it's very lame. And I'm not trying to be funny, but this entire scene with them all sitting up there to gossip about Stacey, it was pathetic to me. It was pathetic, in my opinion. I wasn't here for this whatsoever. It was embarrassing. They all looked pressed. You guys are gathering around to talk about one person who hasn't done anything to y'all? Really? Yes, very much Mean Girls. Jizzy feels threatened. Exactly. You, child. Oh, you said, okay, that's the truth. There is a difference. You're absolutely correct. That's very true. Okay. The Stacey hate club. Yeah, Brooke, we're all confused. Yes. Giselle, Stacey wasn't a kiss ass and Giselle can't take it. Exactly. So now, we have, and also one more thing, what y'all, yes. Why did Angel have Jizzy over after she called her out for catfishing? That's what I was confused about. And on top of that, I am surprised that Angel would have them all over to talk about Stacey when she's been going on for the last several episodes about how hurt she feels regarding how they treat her in this group. You would think that she'd have more empathy for Stacey despite what she's gone through in the group, right? So I was taken aback by that. I was very taken aback by that. So now, Giselle says, first of all, it was a 10 millionth party and y'all rose to the occasion. There was only one Cheeto who came. She's a Cheeto now because she had an orange dress. Do you hear yourself, Giselle? And Stacey looked pretty. Like, you could say what you want about Stacey, but Stacey's a beautiful woman. So, girl, the read did not land at all. It was corny. I just said, I've never seen anything like this where there was so much hate directed at somebody for no reason. You didn't even have this smoke from Mia. And Mia was a known liar who assaulted people. She was lying on her own children. You didn't have this much smoke for her, but you have more smoke for Stacey over Mia. That's wild. So now she says that Stacey's the kind of woman that you can't trust. I said, really? I said, well, that's an interesting choice of words. The same woman who lied on Chris Bassett, but we won't talk about that. Okay. All right. So now you have Tia. Tia, this was really, really lame of you when you said, oh, yeah, she was like the Fanta bottle. Stop, Tia. Tia, I'm sorry. I'm liking you and all, but I'm sorry. In this episode, it was giving corny. Let me hang out with the cool girls. Stop. There's no reason for you to have this hate, this newfound hate for Stacey either. And saying that she looks like an orange Fanta bottle, stop. Stacey looked good. Stop. The girls were sitting in that dress. Honey, mama is snatched. Mm-mm. So now Tia says that she's webbed this tangled web that we're all caught in, which is so unnecessary. What tangled web are y'all in? You're not in a tangled web, sweetheart. Tia, what is your storyline? Besides you, being a newbie and being Giselle's friend and now hopping onto this whole Stacey, let's pile on Stacey. What's your storyline? And what tangled web has Stacey woven for you? Because I'm confused. Yes, Tia wants to be involved so bad. Very much so. They're delusional. Oh, very much so. Very much so. So now Angel says that Stacey has some things to answer to. And I'm like, Angel, again, I'm just confused. I don't know what Stacey has to answer to. What does she need to answer to? Every time she answers, y'all, you guys find a reason to find fault with what she says. So now we cut over to when Jazzy, Wendy, and Stacey. Stacey says, I don't know what I did to make Kay so upset. Why was Kay screaming at me over something that she heard from somebody else? And I wasn't even given the chance to explain myself. When it comes to me, Kiana pipes up. So Wendy agrees, and I agree with that too, because every time it comes to Stacey, Kiana is always barking for no reason. So now we cut right back to, Wendy agrees as well, right? And she says, I think that you are her favorite toy in the toy box. And I believe that. I think that Stacey is the punching bag of the season, and they all get enjoyment out of bashing her. So now we cut back to Angel's house where the rest of them are. So we have Giselle imitating Kiana going off on Stacey at her event. And Kiana's like, I don't know what it is about Stacey, but she musters up all the Detroit in her. And I'm just like, Kiana, you lashing out at Stacey for no reason, you don't have an explanation for that, and you know that. For you to blame this on she musters up all the Detroit in her and that sets you off, that explanation makes absolutely no sense. You are reaching. Stacey does no such thing. You scream at her, you curse at her, you call her out her name, calling her all sorts of hoes and fake ass bees and all that stuff. But now you want to say that she brings out all the Detroit and it gets you upset? No. There was no reason for you to yell and scream at her the way you did at Giselle's event. Just own it. You're in the wrong. You are in the wrong, mama. You're in the wrong. It is what it is. Child, So now Giselle says, what really bothers me about it is because y'all didn't know Monique when she was still married to Chris. So to see her knowing that they got a divorce and her being able to talk about it, it was refreshing to hear her story. For somebody to get up off that table and call her ex-husband is disgusting. So now Tia's asking Ashley, does Monique know about any of this? And Ashley says no. She says, I feel like it would be nice if we could have a sit down because at Giselle's party, it was very hyped. We didn't make much progress. Cookie got froggy. Now, the way Giselle imitated Cookie, Giselle is wrong for that. I said, now, Cookie, is that your friend? Ain't that your friend? Am I Jocelyn Hernandez's voice? Because your good friend is imitating you like that? Side note, the way y'all had me in tears in the last live recap, and the comment section of my last recap, when y'all talked about Cookie, I was in tears. The comment that I pinned on that last recap, y'all had me in tears talking about Cookie. And then the way Giselle imitated her, and I said, Cookie, your good friend is imitating you like that. You looked a fool barging in like that, being nasty, pointing at Stacey, act like you wanted to fight. Child, a mess. A mess. You said, now, Cookie, go get her. Giselle's a friend to no one but Robin. Let's be honest. Very true. Child. So now, Where are we? So now, forgive me, y'all. I just lost place in my notes. So now Ashley says, I would love to have a conversation. I would love for Kiana to join me in a conversation with me, Stacey, and Monique. So Kiana says, oh, that's lovely. So now Ashley goes on to say that this is Monique's battle to fight. I said, Ashley, what battle is there to fight? There is no battle. This whole thing is stupid. What are we talking about here? And it's so funny to me how in one breath, Ashley keeps praising how Monique is healed and she's a lot softer now and all that. But then in the same breath, it's almost like you're hoping that Monique snaps like she did in season 5. It's almost like you want something to happen between Monique and Stacey, because the way you keep saying, well, it's her battle to fight. Like, it's not lost on me that there are a lot of undertones regarding when you talk about Monique and Stacey. You want something to happen to Stacey. You want her to be physically assaulted the same way that Candace was in season 5. It's weird to me. This is a non-issue. And if there is a conversation that needs to be had, you don't need to be a part of it. You're not involved in this. Yes, she is an ish starter. She really is. Yes, she wants something to go down so bad. That woman is the most diabolical woman on this franchise. And that takes some doing when you have Giselle right there. But I will always maintain that Ashley is the most diabolical one on Potomac. She thrives off of confusion, chaos, division, strife. She gets off on that. And it's really sad. They do want her to fight her. It's ridiculous. It's sick. Yes, Ashley wants to weaponize Monique's past. Ashley isn't her friend. She's exploiting. Exactly. It drives me insane. So now, and also let's get another thing straight. Why does Kiana need to be involved in this conversation? Kiana is such a non-factor. So why are we even extending the invite to Kiana? I said, anyway, child, just stupidity at its finest. But Ashley, it's not lost on me that you want to egg this on because you want something to go down between Monique and you want season 5 all over again. It's sick. So now we cut back to Jazzy, Wendy, and Stacey. Stacey says, I don't know what else to do at this point. Wendy says, I would like for you to meet with Monique. Sorry. Stacey says if Monique is okay with it and she can move past it, why can't the other ladies do the same? So Stacey says, I'm open to that, but I have no desire to meet with Kiana. I do not feel comfortable with her around. I said, Stacey, I said, girl, I get it. I wouldn't feel comfortable with Kiana around me either. Listen, y'all know me. I'm calling the cops. If you even pump fake, like you want to assault me, hit me, whatever, I'm not playing these games with anybody. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I wouldn't feel comfortable with Kiana either. The way she screamed in Stacey's face every time she sees her, calling her out of her name, doing all this, acting like she wants to fight her, I wouldn't be comfortable either. So I get why Stacey's like, you know what? Keep her away from me. I get that. Again, Kiana, at this reunion, you're going to have a lot of explaining to do because it's not making any sense as to why you have all of this newfound anger towards Stacey when that was your girl last season. It makes no sense. So now we have... Okay, Wendy says, okay, sounds good. I'll set the whole meeting up and we'll go from there. Kiana, unfortunately, I'm going to be skipping past your scene. I was bored. That was the only filler scene of the episode. And you know it's a sad day when I'm sticking to watch and talk about Ashley's scene over yours. But yeah, I just don't care about this whole thing with you and Greg. I was here for your mom, telling you, like, what are we talking about when it comes to you and Greg and this relationship? Where is it going? Like, it's a mess. You obviously like how it's going. You're obviously, you just want to have a man, right? So whatever anybody tells you, you don't want to hear it. Like, it's annoying. I don't have any time for it. Your mom is over it. Your brother's over it. So why do I need to talk about it? You're going to do what you want to do. You're going to waste year after year with this man who's non-committal, bad attitude, ashy feet. I know he's trying this season to be supportive, but we'll see how long the facade lasts. But yeah, we can skip right past her scene. I don't care. I don't. Dr. Wendy, this scene with you and your mother and your sister Ivy, this scene could not come at a worse time. And Bravo was good and petty to keep this scene in here, knowing what's going on right now in real time. Maybe not the best time for your mother to keep talking about how well you're doing financially and how you fund her life. I said, oh, Wendy, I said, damn. Woo. So anyhow, we see Wendy at home. We see a few seconds with her and her daughter, Cameron. Her family is her family is a beautiful family. I have always maintained that. Her daughter is adorable. And I can't believe that she's already 6. Like, they're growing up so fast. And that's why, and I got a little bit of a lump in my throat because I just, like, with all this going on now, I keep thinking about, how are the kids doing right now? And God forbid, it's this situation. I'm still in shock about it. Like, I'm still floored that this has come out. Like, this is crazy. But yes, her daughter is adorable, right? So now we see Wendy's sister Ivy come over, and mind you, if things weren't bad enough with the mom going on and on about how much money her daughter has, we see that Wendy's home is in the middle of renovations. So the contractors are there. Her interior designer is there, right? We see the walls being painted, chandeliers being put up, new walls being ripped apart. I said, again, Bravo is good and petty for showing this right now. Yes, she goes to court tomorrow, December 2nd at 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ciao. So we see Wendy and her sister Ivy on the balcony. They're sitting down and talking. Wendy says, I invited mom over as well, but I did want to talk to you first. So she brings up their father. Now, we learned about Wendy's dad in the last episode. So Wendy says that she's still upset about her dad not calling her on her birthday. Now we find out that Wendy and her family, Wendy says, we all went to Nigeria and I want to see my dad because I hadn't seen her. I hadn't seen him in a long time. We know that she hasn't seen her dad in like 20 years, right? So Ivy says, yeah, it's been 20 years. And Wendy says, our whole family went to Nigeria for over a month. I said, oh, I know that trip was expensive. I said, oh, y'all were living. Y'all said no expense spared. I know you had a nice time. So she says that, they were in Nigeria for over a month. Her dad was feeling ill and couldn't make it, right? So she didn't see her dad while they were in Nigeria. So she says a small part of her felt like if her dad saw her and that she turned out great, he would want to be in her life. So she's still craving that validation from her father. And that's very sad to hear. And it upsets me Like, it upsets me. And y'all know I cannot stand deadbeat parents, right? So it pains me to see adult children like still craving that acceptance from the deadbeat parent. I hate that so bad. And and that's really sad to hear. So Ivy says, well, he knows that you're doing great. And Wendy says, but he still doesn't want her. So Ivy says, it's not that he doesn't want you, it's the fact that he's just learned to live without us. I said, now, Ivy, I'm glad that you've been able to make peace with your deadbeat father, but let's just be honest. Your father is a deadbeat. Like, you're trying, Wendy's trying to speak plain and you're trying to, put it in a pretty bow. No, your dad is a deadbeat. And the fact that any parent can live without their child, that's crazy. Like I could not imagine. Like, I'm not even a parent yet. And I couldn't imagine. And even Wendy was like, obviously my sister has grown to, move past our dad being a deadbeat, but I still haven't. Like, I'm still craving and wishing for that father-daughter relationship. Wendy doesn't need him. It's better not to have someone like that in your life. I hope she can see that one day. Yeah, no, I listen, I'm right there with you. Wendy doesn't need him, but unfortunately she's still craving that relationship. So now, and Wendy even said, she's still chasing that relationship of what a father-daughter relationship looks like, right? But, my sister's made peace with it. I haven't. So Ivy says, honestly, Wendy, I thank God for mom that we have a parent because, mom filled in the gaps despite us having a deadbeat father. So now we see, she just mentioned their mom, and we see Susan pop up, right? Susan's here. So, honey, we see Susan. Susan's over here having a good old time, honey. Susan had that Gucci belt on display for the world to see. She had her Christian Dior book tote in hand. I said, okay. So I'm guessing that we didn't take this Dior back to the store, right? So that's good. But with all this going on, Miss Susan, you might have to take that Dior back to the store and get that money back. Child, yes, honey. She said, look at my Christian Dior, honey. I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. Listen, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I promise you. She said, look at me, honey. She said, you better zip that zipper down and check the label. Yes, honey. She had Christian Dior and her Gucci belt. Okay. Child, you said she's hiding her bag now, honey. Oh, she was prancing, honey. She was prancing. So now, someone said that Susan favors Evelyn Braxton. And in this, they said it on Twitter, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, in this scene, she kind of did favor Evelyn Braxton. And you, honey, baby, you see her, yeah, she was showing off that new body too. And she stood up and said, look, honey, like, look at me. Miss Susan is feeling herself. All right. So anyhow, Wendy tells her mom about what she was talking to Ivy about their father. And and when I tell you, her mom had me screaming. She was like, I don't want to hear about your deadbeat father. Like, baby, don't even bring him up. She said, he's miserable. He's miserable. Now, one thing about this, I feel like all deadbeat parents are miserable on the inside. I don't feel like deadbeat parents have peace because it's a sin to abandon your child. You don't sit there and not take care of your child. So I don't believe for a minute that Wendy and Ivy's father is at peace. He's not at peace. So Miss Susan, you're correct about that. That man is not at peace. That's a fact. That is a fact, honey. There is no rest for the wicked. Okay. So no. So honey, deadbeat parents, I wish the absolute worst for all deadbeat parents. And they're not at peace. They're not. Their soul is crying out because what they have done is truly shameful. It's very evil. Okay. You said her mom made it all about her, though. Yes, she did. I didn't like that. And I feel like, I feel like, can you just listen to your daughter? If your daughter is saying how it made her feel, just listen to her. And she did make it all about her. And I was like, can you just let Wendy speak? Like, let Wendy share how she feels. You said Susan ain't taking nothing back. Yes, their soul is missing. They come in pieces. Exactly. No, they're not at peace. They're so, no, I promise they're not. No, they're not at peace. They are not at, honey, I'm telling you, deadbeat parents are not at peace. They might be running the streets out here thinking they're having a good time, but they are not at peace. They are not. So anyhow, her mom is like, oh no, he's miserable. He's miserable. Like, don't worry about it. I don't want to hear. Yeah, she was not trying to hear about this man. She says, your father could have 200 children, but your father only has one Wendy. So she says, he feels like the odd man out because you guys are so successful. You're doing so well. Look at how God has blessed you. Look at how well you take care of me. So we see Miss Susan stand up. She's showcasing her new body. She was twirling around. Wendy was like, can you please sit down? So Miss Susan says, I'm the one enjoying your money. She says, look at my bag. Look at my Christian Dior bag. Look at my belt. She's showing off the Gucci belt, everything, right? So she says, so Wendy, so now, Wendy makes jokes saying, yes, you're spending my money all right. I said, Miss Susan, if you knew like we all knew, if you knew what was about to hit your daughter and your son-in-law in a few short months, you would have never said this on camera. And this is why, because I've had some folks try to argue me down and say, no, they were doing well before they joined the show. No, they were not. Because if you were doing well before you joined the show, your mom would not be bragging about, look how well you take care of me and all this stuff. Like they would have already been doing that. You get what I'm saying? Like the mom's actions were it's very evident that they just touched some money in recent years. Because if things were always like that, the mom wouldn't be acting like this. When somebody's used to something and when somebody's not used to something. Because I was like, all right, it's a bit gauche. It's giving, we just, the money just got right. Because if you're used to it, you don't have to parade it around and say, oh, look, I'm doing so well. People can see it and you're used to it. I said, child. Yes, it was very much new money behavior. Yes. Very much so. But I said, Miss Susan, if you knew like we all knew, you wouldn't have said any of this. So now, and I mean, she kept repeating it. She kept saying, I'm enjoying your money. I'm enjoying your money. I'm enjoying your money. I said, Miss Susan, we get it. I said, my God. So now, they walk back into the house. I guess they're going to an event or going out. And so they come back into the house and Wendy says, well, look how I'm enjoying my money. I said, Wendy, why would you say that? This truly could not come at a worse time. Like, oh my gosh. So we see the contractors, we see one of the chandeliers. Her interior designer is there. Her name is Rhonda. So we have Miss Susan Miss Susan's talking about the chandelier, how the chandelier, she should get 2 of the chandeliers. She's like, well, that's not big enough for Wendy. Like, get more. My daughter has the money. And she says, Miss Susan says, Wendy's got the budget, honey. You know what I wrote in my notes? I wrote, oh, does she? You sure about that, Miss Susan? Because between these court documents, it's telling a different story. I said, Lord, have mercy, child. You said budget was not in the room with them. Production was messy for keeping that in. Oh, I agree. I agree. That scene was diabolical. No, really, child. I said, yes, no, for real. It's true. If you could have seen the way I was shaking my head, I said, Lord, have mercy. I said, oh my gosh. I said, production is wrong. They could have cut that out. You guys could have, Bravo, you could have cut that out. All this before court. I know. Oh my gosh. Just a mess. Oh, Bravo's big shady for airing this scene. Production added that back in. No way that wasn't originally cut. Right? Okay, listen, because Bravo is quick to cut out certain people's scenes. They are quick to cut out scenes. And I was surprised. I feel like had this not happened, they probably would have cut that out. But because I said, and the fact that this episode was an hour 15, they definitely added this back in. I said, shake Patty, good and Patty. Them investigators were eating this up with subtitles and everything. Child, timing is not on her side. Okay, so you think that they added it back in. Child. They picked those scenes up off the cutting room floor. Oh my gosh. You said Bravo is the FBI, CIA, and all the other alphabet boys. They picked baby prosecutors watching with a notepad every Sunday at 8. You said, honey, shady production. I'm telling you. Yeah, tomorrow is her court hearing, her first court hearing at 8:45 a.m. Child. You said they would have protected Giselle. Child. God bless. God bless. Because at the end of the day, there are 3 children under the age of 13 who will be gravely affected. And I've always said from the time she joined this show, despite how I felt about Dr. Wendy, I have always said that her family was a beautiful family. Those kids are adorable. And I think, just such happy, they seem like sweet, kind, just little Black children. And we don't see a lot of them on television. And they just seem like the sweetest kids. And I would just hate for their lives to be affected because of pure stupidity and greed. Because this is what this was. So I just pray, I pray, because it would be a real shame for these kids and their lives to be gravely. Every time I think about this, I just want to ask why. Like, why? This was worth it. Like, I'm confused at what would possess anybody to even. Like, there's just so much confusion. Child, you said it doesn't matter if they aired it or not. I'm sure Bravo was subpoenaed. That's true. I guess it just makes it just feels worse that they did air it. You know what I'm saying? Like, of all times to air this, I don't know. Child, yes, their children are a reflection of good parenting. Yes, they are. They're just the sweetest. They seem like such sweet kids, such lovely kids. Always a smile on their face, happy kids. You can tell that Wendy and Eddie love them. They love being parents, and come on, like, you don't want to see this happen to especially Black children. Like, I don't want to see this. This is terrible. This is horrible. So there's nothing wrong with liking designer pieces, but just don't let the pieces consume you. That's my only thing. Like, go get your pieces, but not to the extent where you're going to pull a stunt like this. Child. Yes, on Wife Swap, we could see how well they were raised. Yes. Oh, very sweet. Oh my gosh, very sweet. Yes, I did see that Wendy and Giselle were on Beyond the Gates. Beyond the Gates, the soap opera. Child. No, it's true. At the end of the day, we can't take none of this when we go with us when we go. No, it's the truth. It's very true. We can't. We are not taking any of this with us. Enjoy your things. Don't let the things consume you. And just know that, on your deathbed, you're not going to be saying, you're not going to be calling out Van Cleef or Cartier on your deathbed. You're going to be calling around for your family. If you're religious, calling on the Lord. But you're not going to be calling for Chanel and Dior. I like my pieces, but I know at the end of the day, it's not that serious. And I know what's important. I know what's what. Okay. But let's just move on because we'll be here all day. Okay. Yes. You're not going to be calling for Balenciaga on your deathbed, Wait, why am I'm sorry, I've been talking so long. Forgive me. Remember when Kim Zolciak said she wanted to die with Dior on? Yes, I remember that. I mean, listen, I get it. You want to go out in a nice, in a nice piece, right? Like, I want to go out with a nice piece on. I'm going to tell my family, hey, take it off me so the grave robbers don't steal it. I'm going to go out fresh. Like, I'm going to go out drip down. I'm going to go with my wrist. What? I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out with my Van Cleef, of course. But I want my children to take it off of me. My future children, take it off of me so the grave robbers won't steal it. Okay, it's for you now. You keep it. That's all yours now. All right? Okay. Listen, honey. Okay, I'm gonna go, get the Dior saddle. That's yours. Divvy that up. Split it however you want to split it. But, I'm gonna go in the casket. I'm gonna go dripped, designer down. But just make sure to take it off before they close that casket. Take it off of me so that way the grave robbers won't steal it. Oh my God. Yeah, honey, spray that Chanel on me before I go. Okay, exactly. You said a mess. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, y'all, let's get back on track. All right. Yes, honey. Kim's going to be dripped down in Dee Dee's discounts. All right, y'all. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. Child. So now, so we go on. Okay, so now it's the night of the big sit down with Ashley, Kiarna, Stacey, Monique, and Wendy. And we do see Ashley and Kiarna at the restaurant first. So Ashley says, the big thing today is I just want Stacey to hear us. Now, quick side note. You notice how Ashley's trying to be a fashion girl now? It's giving that she wants to take, I guess, Wendy's spot with the designer. That settlement from Michael must have been good because Ashley used to be real cheap. Ashley would always say, I don't even like designer bags like that. I say, you see how the girls do? Because Michael was holding those purse strings hostage, right? So when you couldn't buy designer, it was, oh, well, I don't care about designer bags. Now, all of a sudden, you see Ashley with the Chanel purse. I said, since when does Ashley have Chanel? And you saw with the Fendi shirt. And I said, now, last episode was a Prada dress. Then, I was like, oh, okay. Now, also, so now you're trying to take Wendy's spot as now you the designer fashion girly. I said, oh, okay, Ashley. But before, you were talking about, oh, I don't even like designer pieces. I don't even care about designer. But now you designer down. I said, Ashley's looking like she's in Neiman's and Saks all the time now. I said, oh, okay. You said she's looking like she wears Candace's hand-me-downs. Yeah, no, there's such a tackiness with Ashley. You said, Ashley been wearing all the items that Wendy returned. Now you know I'm done. I am done. It still looks cheap on it. Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%. She's wearing it a lot now. Ashley makes it look cheap. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, it does show that Michael did not let her have a dime. Very much so. Apparently, she got $2 million in the divorce. Oh, okay. So that's why. That's why. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. So now, so she's finally free to spend a little money. So now, where were we? You see, I got distracted talking about material items. So now we see Monique pull up. Monique pulls up with that, oh, that crimson red Birkin. Chef's kiss. Monique said, let me make sure I collect some pieces before I divorce this man that I don't want and never wanted. Monique, baby, this Birkin, did we see this when you were on the show the first time? That Birkin looked fresh. I said, oh, girl, that Birkin, honey. I said, Monique, I can always give the girls their due. That red Birkin was it. So Monique says, I'm maintaining my peace. I'm going to see what they're talking about tonight. We have Monique showing them her essential oils. I forgot about those oils. Did anybody buy her oils? Let me know in the chat. If you ever bought her oils, let me know. So now Kiarna says, Monique, you're a topic of discussion at Giselle's party. And Monique says, well, I don't know what the story was, but the first thing that came to my mind is when Tia asked me, what was the moment that I knew that it was done with Chris? Kiarna says, I thought it was genuine of you to even share that with us. I left the event and then I got on the phone with Cookie and she told me that you trashed him. And I'm like, that's crazy. So now Ashley jumps in and says, you were so vulnerable and so open with us in that moment. So for somebody to violate our trust and call Chris of all people. And Monique says, well, here's the thing. First things first. The first thing that comes to my head is I don't even know what the truth is because you're dealing with so many people who twist the truth. She says Stacey could have called Chris up and then he could have spun it and said, oh, you were talking trash about me. And then you add Cookie in with her lying ass and now the story's all mixed up. You could tell that Ashley and Kiarna were pissed that their plan flopped. They were expecting Monique to go off and already come in on 10. And Monique was like, baby, this ain't that. I'm not giving y'all season 5. I'm going to be rational for the first time ever. Monique shut it down. Monique was just like, girl, I know my ex-husband, he's good and petty, so he might have spun this around. And we all know that Cookie's a fraud and a liar too. So maybe it wasn't Stacey. They looked so disappointed that Monique was not immediately buying that it was Stacey. I loved it. Yes, they wanted the old Monique. Oh yes, Kiarna was tight. Kiarna's face was tight when Monique said that. She was livid. Ashley looked defeated and Kiarna looked pissed. Yes, I'm glad that Monique said that. Now hold on. Wait. Okay. No, we see each other. Wait. Are y'all going to be surprised if I say this? Are y'all going to be surprised if I say this? Well, if I say this, are you going to be upset? Are you going to be shocked that I'm going to say this? Monique is slowly winning me back over just a tad. I'm so surprised that she is handling this in a mature way. Because when I tell you I was expecting the worst. I'm not going to jump the gun too soon, but so far, I'm not minding Monique as a friend of. I thought that I was just going to be so annoyed and just be so upset to see, but like, so if she could just own it and make things right with Candace, that would be like, okay, girl, I see you. But right now, baby steps. Okay. So Monique, you could stay on as a friend for the time being. I'm not mad at Monique. Okay. Monique really is giving us mature, rational adult. And I'm here for that. So now she says, honestly, I could care less if you tell Chris, tell him whatever you want, but at least have the facts and the story straight. Co-parenting is already a nightmare. So to add that type of stuff adds fuel to the fire. It's just insane. Now, hold on. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised by them not being able to co-parent. When Monique let it slip at her mouth last year on a podcast that she didn't get alimony or child support, I knew right then. I said, "Oh, that's a hot raggedy mess." The way they both take shots at each other on social media from what I've seen, I'm not surprised. And Chris looks like he's out here zipping it and zooing it in these streets. He can't be bothered, honey. He cannot be bothered. So like he wants to be a single man, honey. Like he has no kids. So I'm not surprised that co-parenting has been a nightmare. I could see Chris, I could see them at each other's throats about, I could see that. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. Yeah, their divorce was very messy, very messy. Okay. So we have Wendy arrive. Wendy's, saying hi to everybody. She kind of, her and Kiana don't really talk. Kiana ignores her. She ignores Kiana. And Monique's asking Wendy her opinion. And Wendy says, look, I did meet up with Stacey the other day, and she was adamant that she did not speak to Chris. But I'm going to let her have the conversation with you when she gets here. So Wendy says, just another note, Stacey did let me know that she does not. Oh, wait, sorry. Sorry. She says, okay, I don't know. I think I wrote my notes like wrong right here. I apologize. Wendy brings up how Charisse called Chris, right? And we know that Monique and Charisse fell out a long time ago. Charisse called her a social climber. They never got back on track. So yeah, we know she can't stand Charisse. So Charisse said, Monique's like Charisse, why is Charisse involved? Like, what? So they explained to her why. And so Wendy says, and also when I met with Stacey the other day, she did tell me that she wants to have a conversation with you. But when it comes to Kiana, she does not want to have a conversation with you, Kiana. So you have Kiana saying, well, I feel the same way too. Now, Kiana, if you don't want to have a conversation with Stacey either, then why are you here? What are you talking about? You clearly came out to film to speak to Stacey and harass her. You're just upset that Stacey beat you to the punch and said, girl, I'm paying you dust. I don't want to speak to you. You're bothered by it. Because again, there's no purpose of you to be at this table if you don't want to speak to Stacey. Stacey is the main event. She just makes no sense. So now she says, and obviously Kiana was visibly hurt when Wendy relayed that message, like, girl, just so you know, she's not talking to you, so don't even bother. So now Kiana says, Well, Wendy says she does not feel safe or comfortable around you. So Kiana is visibly hurt and she says, I have zero interest in a fake fraud ass bitch. Again, the fact that you can never refer to Stacey as just Stacey, it's always some fraud ass hoe or fraud ass bitch. Like, you sound ridiculous. Kiana, you are not 14 years old. You are a grown woman. I don't understand why you keep referring to her like that. You don't have any major issue with her. Like, it's not making sense. And you've already lost the argument when you have to refer to somebody as all, like, girl. It's so annoying. Yeah, she rejects a lot. And she keeps calling Stacey out of her name at every chance. I'm like, you don't know how to insult somebody by not having to go that low. Like, I don't get it. Yes, Kiana is on the wrong show. I'm like, Kiana, this is giving Love and Hip Hop. If I'm being very honest, it's not giving Potomac. And to have this beef with Stacey is mind-boggling. So anyhow, just as she's calling her a fraud, a fraud and all this stuff, baby, Miss Stacey pulled up, honey. I said, I know that's right. Stacey was so unbothered. So she obviously says hello to everybody, does not speak to Kiana. I loved it. So she gives Monique a hug. Monique says, we come in peace. So now Wendy, and also, did anybody love how Stacey was at the head of the table? I said, it was just exuding dominance and power. I love the fact that they had Stacey at the head of the table. I know that's right. That was phenomenal. So anyhow, they sit down, they're all there, and Stacey makes it clear that she wants to sit down and have a conversation with Wendy and Monique. Ashley and Kiana's services are no longer needed. Kiana was obviously bothered because she's like, well, you know what? I can actually go and sit at the bar. She's like, I'm not doing this. She says, I chose to leave because I don't give an ish, and all Stacey's going to do is lie. Girl, you obviously did give something because you got dressed and you got ready to drive an hour or so to this bar, get mic'd up and film this scene for a few hours. So obviously you do care. You had so much to say before Stacey got there. Now when you find out that she's not going to be talking to you, now you want to say, oh, I don't care anyway. And baby, I noticed that at one point you were crying at that bar by yourself. I said, oh, now you're the victim? Really? Kiana, I don't know if somebody told you to go after Stacey because it would solidify your spot on the show, but whoever told you whatever, they told you wrong. They are steering you in the wrong direction because you are going out sad. And this nonsensical one-sided beef with you and Stacey is ridiculous. Was she crying? Did I imagine that, or was she crying? I could have sworn that. Okay, yes, she did cry at the bar. That's what I thought. Because she was at the bar and she got a tissue and she was dabbing the corners of her eye. She looked visibly upset. Yep, I saw her crying too. Okay. Yes, I thought she was crying. Yes, she was crying. Yes, the triangle tissue and all. Okay. She had a triangle. Okay. So my eyes did not deceive me. Miss Mamas was sobbing at that bar. You said tissues to eye. Who knows if she was faking? She gonna cry in the car. So anyhow, she says, for you to act like I'm a threat when you're the scariest bitch in the room is crazy to me. Kiana, you've got to learn how to quit while you're ahead. And you're not even ahead. You've been acting erratic. Personally, I'm not, you have one time to even pump fake, like you want to hit me or go upside my head or assault me. And you don't have to worry about me coming around you. I promise you, listen, I don't hang out with weirdos. I'm not around folks who don't know how to use their words. You have one time to even pump fake, like you want to hit me, and you're not going to see me again. You're not. For you to act like, you're just so appalled that Stacey doesn't want to be around you. You've been acting erratic. You've been acting unhinged, ma'am. Why are you so surprised and confused? A mess. So anyhow, back to the actual scene that matters. So we cut back to everybody else at the table. And if you ask me, Ashley should have been at the bar too. Why is Ashley here? This does not involve Ashley. So I don't know why Ashley was sitting there too. I would have said, if I were Stacey, I would have said, production, I'm not going to talk until they both go to that bar and leave us the hell alone. So anyhow, Monique says, all I want to do is, Monique says, all I want is to find out what happened when we sat down at the table at Pride. When I opened up to you guys, that was my way of being vulnerable with the group. She says, Stacey, I did not know that you were still in contact with Chris, but I don't associate with anybody who still associates with my ex-husband. So Stacey says, look, I never dated Chris. And Monique says, oh, I thought you did. And Ashley's rolling her eyes. So she's like, that's not the word on the curb. And I said, Ashley, once again, shut the entire F up. Respectfully. This does not concern you. Go to the bar with Kiana. Why are you here? We don't need you as a middleman in the conversation. This does not involve you. Why are you saying anything? If I were Stacey, I would have said, Ashley, you have one more time to say something else before I ask them to send you to that bar. Be quiet. If you want to sit here, shut your mouth. Please. So now Monique says, well, honestly, I don't care if she did date Chris. I've been there, done that. I've moved on. I'm healed. I'm good. She says, old Monique would have been like, and I said, girl, we know what old Monique would have been like. It would have been a fight. It would have been an assault. It would have been a hot mess. Okay. We know what it would have been like, girl. So you don't have to tell us. We remember. Unfortunately, we still remember. We are still scarred from season 5. Okay. I know I am, but let's not go there. So Monique goes on to say, that's not who I am anymore. People like Stacey can't keep the lie going. So we'll see how the story unfolds. So she's like, well, Stacey, did you call him? Stacey says, no, I did not call Chris. So Stacey pulls out her phone to show the receipts. She says, when me and my daughter were on the cover of the Potomac Lifestyle magazine, he sent me a message saying it was beautiful. I did not answer. Then he says, you should say, then he says to me, a thank you would be appropriate. I said, Chris, don't tell me that you're one of those annoying guys in the DMs talking to themselves. If a woman does not respond to you in the DMs, leave her alone. Leave her alone, please. Please, respect. I said, let me find out that Chris Samuels is out here being one of those guys. Yes, honey, very thirsty. Oh, very thirsty. Okay. All right. Yes. You said you could see it too. Okay. Yes, he wanted some happy Stacey. All right. Yes, I think that Monique is clocking that her ops, the 3 C's, Cookie, Charisse, and Chris are plotting on her. Oh, absolutely. And that's why she's not giving this story any mind. And I love it. So anyhow, then Stacey says, he hit me up again saying, I hear that they're saying my name in filming. He sent me these messages on June 1st. So Monique said, oh, he's been stalking you. So Monique says, he's been finding out stuff prior then. So pretty much Stacey's receipts do they vindicate her. Miss Mamas is cleared, right? So you have Ashley saying, well, everybody knows how text messaging works. You can delete stuff in a hurry. These fraudulent ass receipts. I said, Ashley, you are such a hater. I said, girl, you need help. You know good and well that Stacey's not up there doctoring up text messages. It clearly shows that Chris is the thirsty one contacting her. The fact that Chris wrote back to her saying, hey, You should say thank you. A thank you would suffice. That clearly shows that she's telling the truth, that she did not answer him back. Because if she did answer him back, he wouldn't have said that. Let's use our brains here for 2 seconds. I know that's a really hard ask, but girl, you just sound so foolish being so hell-bent and wanting to believe that Stacey is the one in the wrong. And let's just say for a minute that Stacey and Chris were talking, DMing, whatever. Even if they did, that was in the past. And they're both single people. And Monique and Stacey they were not friends. They did not know each other. So there was no breaking of any loyalty or any girl code. So this entire storyline that you're trying to come up with, you're grasping at straws. You don't have a story here, sis. The only one with fraudulent receipts is you. You had to conjure up this storyline because you have nothing. Besides your mom being with a bum. That's all you've got for this season. And we barely care about that. A mess. So anyhow, Wendy says, so Chris knew about the conversations happening in this group. So that means that there's somebody else leaking whatever info to him. She says, I can say it's nobody at this table. Now, Wendy, I'm here for your theory. I believe that there is a leak in this group, right? There is a mole, but I don't believe for a minute that Ashley is innocent. I believe that Ashley's probably in cahoots with Chris, pulling all this. So don't let Ashley off the hook. So Ashley's like, well, who could it be? So Wendy says, let me put my detective wig on for a minute. She says, Kiarna is prime suspect number 1, because why are you even talking to Cookie in the first place? Exactly. Again, I thought that Wendy's theories, I was here for it. I'm on the same page when it comes to this. She says, both Kiarna and Cookie don't like Stacey. They're trying to implicate her. I believe that. She says suspect number 2 is Angel. We know that Bobby and Chris Samuels know each other. Maybe Angel told Bobby and Bobby ran and told Chris. That is a possibility, but I do feel like Bobby wouldn't. I don't know. I feel like for some reason, I don't think that Bobby would do that. Like, I don't think that they were that close. They weren't that close to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they knew of each other because Bobby went to the same school as Chris, and they were both in the NFL. He was like a mentor to Bobby, but I don't believe that they had that kind of relationship where they would talk on the phone and gossip. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. Oh, you did say, yeah, she did say that Bobby is messy. Yeah, but I still don't think that Angel isn't. You said she's still stuck on the issue from episode 4. I know. In my opinion, I believe that this is the work of Kiarna and Giselle and Cookie. I don't believe that Angel is a part of it. I think that it's Giselle, Kiarna, Cookie, and Ashley. It's them. They did it. Okay. Giselle and Ashley told Cookie at the dinner, and then she went and told Chris. Yep, I can see that. Bobby doesn't seem messy. He even said to his wife that she was doing too much for the catfish comment. Angel said Bobby loves to gossip. Yeah, but for some reason, I don't believe that Angel and Bobby are a part of this, in my opinion. So anyhow, and then Wendy says, and then there's Giselle. We all know that Giselle loves mess. She's been cozy with Cookie since Karen went to jail. And listen, Giselle is number 1. Giselle and Kiarna, and Ashley are tied for number 1 in my book, along with Cookie. They are all prime suspects number 1, in my opinion. Giselle is definitely a part of this equation, for sure. So now she says, we can't rule out Stacey because she has lied in the past, present, and she'll probably lie in the future. So now, and I said, now, Wendy, I wouldn't talk too much about folks lying. So, and Stacey's lies are harmless lies. All right. I'm going to just leave it there. So now we see Ashley get up to check on Kiarna at the bar. She's consoling Kiarna. Again, I don't care. Kiarna, has no reason to be angry at Stacey. She's brought all this mess on herself, in my opinion. So Stacey says, I would like to have a relationship with you, Monique. I hope that you have it in your heart for us to grow and get to know each other. So Monique says, yeah, I'm not a person who moves off other people's experiences. I want to hear your side of it and what happened. That's it. She says, I don't know who to believe, but I am fine with it. I'm not here to start an argument or fuss and fight. I said, God is so good. I said, oh, Monique, God is good. God is good. Now, if you can just really turn the ship around and apologize and take full ownership and have a sit down with Candace, we will be cooking with gas, but baby steps right now, all right? But God is good. God is good. So she says, my concern for you is I want you to be careful with that whole situation regarding my ex-husband, because here's the thing. I know how messy he is, and he's pulling you right into the mess. She says, I divorced him for a reason. She says a lot of things that people don't know, which is why I said be very careful. And that's the end of the episode. Now, I definitely believe that Chris is messy. I think that he's also very hurt by the divorce. He didn't want a divorce. He wanted him and Monique to be together forever, right? So I believe that he's trying to get back at Monique. I believe that revenge is probably a reason why she came back on the show, to rub it in his face that she's back on. Yeah, I think that, they're both still kind of at war with each other. So I'm not surprised to hear that Chris is being messy and, vengeful. Yes, Chris wants to be back on the show. Yes, he does. Absolutely. Stacey did look scared when Monique said that. Monique came to see him for who he is, an insecure man, and he hates her for it. Maybe if Candace watches and sees a change in her, she might be comfortable coming back with her around. Stranger things have happened. Yeah, no, you're right. Stranger things have happened. Oh, have a safe flight. Monique does not see it for Chris at all. I don't know, Brooke. They both were miserable. I think he was miserable because he knew that deep down inside she wasn't feeling him like that. I always believed that he was miserable because he was a controlling man. He was that type of man who he was kind of jealous of her spotlight when she did get on the show. I believe that, yeah, he was miserable too. They were both miserable, but he was miserable because he wanted to just keep her in that house. He didn't want her to leave him. That's why I believe that he was miserable. I feel like he always knew deep down inside that she wasn't happy in that marriage, and he really wanted her, in my opinion. So y'all, I'm going to read the super chats that I missed throughout the recap. So I'm going to read them right now. Hey, Housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. I hope you had a fun and delicious Thanksgiving. I did. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving as well. Thank you. Hey, Housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. Seeing Ashley on my screen makes me unhealthily angry. I think a lot of us are on the same page. Hey, Madeline. Hey, Madeline Nicole. Thank you for the super chat. Brooke, there's breaking news. Todd is fighting the prenup and demanding primary custody. Yes, like I said at the beginning of the recap, I saw the breaking news before I went on for Potomac. We'll talk about that. I promise you. I have a lot to say about that. I'm not surprised by any of this. Hey, Dr. Sarah. Thank you for the super chat. Ashley believes that she deserves Stacey's popularity on Real Housewives. Yes. Unreasonably Shady, episode 206. Giselle said Ashley wanted Stacey's seat at the Bravos. Production moved her right back. Oh, see, they're upset at how a newbie is stealing their shine. Now, Starry-Eyed Empress, I appreciate your super chat, but I'm not going to read that. Listen, you don't have to like somebody, but we don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Again, like I appreciate the super chats, but y'all, please, when you super chat me, please don't say crazy or vulgar or like really like nasty things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. Let's keep it cute. Let's keep it nice. I know that we talk about the housewives, but let's always be let's have some respect. Let's be respectful. Okay, let's be respectful. Hey, housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. Wendy calling anybody a liar with her whole chest will age like milk. They send nasty things because they know you have to read it. They ain't slick. No, I don't have to read anything. And I'll be the first one to say, you feel free to, you can cancel the super chat. Feel free. I'm not like it's no, not to sound like Miss Susan, but like I promise you, I'm fine. I'm good. I promise you. I don't have to. I won't. There has been a few times I've not read a super chat because it was very vile and just mean spirited or very vulgar or. So no, I'm not. People think I don't. You know what I'm saying? No, folks will try it, but no, you're not going to force me to say something crazy because you sent no. Let's be respectful. Hey, Betty Snoop 26, thank you for the super chat. Uncle Lump been seeing through the bull since 1973. Exactly, honey. He's tired. Uncle Lump is tired of Sheila and Ashley. Hey, Mel Penn, thank you for the super chat. There's a lot of criticisms about Mama Dot, but one thing for certain, Mama Dot didn't pick no losers. Okay, exactly. Okay, didn't. Hey, Housewives lover, thank you for the super chat. Stacey's season 11 tagline idea, still I rise with haters' eyes, watching me thrive and survive. That's actually really good. If she takes it, make sure you get 10%. Hey, Kadaya2 Torre, thank you for the super chat. Why y'all shocked? She gifted Gizzard a fan too. Hey, Tony, 8Ls. Oh my God, I read your, I'm so embarrassed. Sorry. Forgive me. I'm a little hungry. Talking a lot. I butchered your name. Please forgive me. Tanya tells. Oh my gosh. So I don't know where I got Tony from. Apologies, Tanya. Thank you for the super chat. Fanta is amazing. Nice try, Tia. Yeah, like that whole comment was just so immature. Hey, Kadaya2 Torre, thank you for the super chat. Angel cried over being called out for filters. Yeah, she's dragging Stacey with a mean girl. She couldn't last a minute in Stacey's shoes. Yeah, no, a lot of these women could not last if they were getting beat up on day after day, episode after episode. I mean, Stacey is a true champ to take these blows. And I mean, she just keeps on ticking and she just keeps giving it to them without breaking a sweat. That's iconic. Hey, Miss Tishalish, thank you for the super chat. Angel's finally happy to join the Mean Girls group. I really hope that's not the case. I would love for Angel. We talk, at BravoCon, I said I would love to have you on my channel. I said please come on. I really just have so many questions because I'm confused, by a few things. But I think that Angel's lovely in person, but yeah, on the show, I'm just a little bit confused. Hey, So Fresh, So Clean. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Liberia Rose. Thank you for the super chat. Monique hasn't changed, girl. Watch what I tell you. I'm going to say this. Like I said, I'm going in with an open mind, But may I tell you this, though? I said this before. I said this to you at the top of this season. I said, I can no longer get that invested. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. Whether she's changed for good or she's changed, it's fake. I just can't be that invested anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because, you'll be going up for the girls and the girls don't even appreciate your support. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, if Monique is back, welcome. Let's, like, that's where I'm at with it all. Like, I'm just having fun with it. Gone are the days where I'm just going crazy talking about these shows. We still have a cute laugh, a cute time, but child, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping an open mind about Monique, right? Yes, honey, K, Sarah, whatever will be. Exactly. All right. Hey, so fresh, so clean. Thank you for the super chat. Monique is not a terrible person, but she lacks accountability. She's a healed narcissist. LOL. Team Stacey, Team Candace. Hey, so fresh, so clean. Thank you for the super chat. Stacey Rush Plies 2028. Hey, KM Box. KM Bax. Thank you for the super chat. Giselle, Kay, and Ashley should Venmo Stacey some of their salary. Oh, absolutely. They owe her all of their paychecks, like for real. Like she's all they talk about. She's all they talk about. Exactly. These upper poor girls will not give me premature wrinkles. Exactly. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Wait, what happened? Oh wait, was there another disrespectful super chat that I missed? Well, it looks like you handled it, Jameer, so thank you. But yeah, guys, just like again, like one thing about me, I promise you, if you send something crazy in a super chat, I'm just not going to read it. And I will tell you, feel free to call your bank up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that deep. You're not going to get me to say something crazy on my channel, which I worked very hard for through the grace of God and built up. Like, so you're not going to get me to say something crazy. I'm not doing it. So if you ever say something disrespectful, thinking that I have to read it because you send some money, baby, return to sender, honey. You can get your money back because I'm not reading it. All right, I'm not whether I'm rooting for a housewife. I don't care for a housewife. I'm in between neutral. Let's not be disrespectful and say vile things about them. Period. It's just a show. Okay. Yeah, baby, you're not gonna set me up. Let them know, Brooke, this is my house. Exactly, honey. You bet. Okay. All right. Exactly. All right. Let's. Child, please. Yes, honey. Keep it, honey. You will never get me to say something crazy. People saying all sorts of stuff because they think you have to read it. You're not getting me all hemmed up. Keep it respectful in the super chats. Super chats do not, you sent a few dollars does not give you the right to think that you could say something crazy because you sent some money. Feel free to cancel with your bank because I'm not going to read. We keep it cute over here. Don't say anything crazy. Okay. So that's my 2 cents. All right. Hey, so fresh, so clean. Thank you for the super chat. I hope somebody coins upper poor. Yes, I think that was shout out to James Potts, a longtime subscriber. He is hilarious. He said that I believe James, if you're in here, you said that on the Candy live that you had everybody screaming. I could not stop laughing. I cannot stop laughing. Hey, Kadaya to Torre, thank you for the super chat. So do you think Kay lied to you now? I mean, may I tell you, that's usually their answer for everything. When I talk to all of them, they say that to me. Alexia told me it was production. They cut this out. Her and Gertie went bowling. So they all sit up there and tell all sorts of stories to you. And you say, hey, what was that about in person? So, and I told you on the BravoCon live, I just said, well, I don't really know if I believe that because they must have cut out a lot. You know what I'm saying? So paying money disrespect is crazy. People are crazy. You have, honey, everybody's not playing with a full deck. You have people who want attention any way they can get it. Yes, honey. No, listen, child, it's true. Yes, built it brick by brick. Oh, yes, you've been here for a long time. Yes. Some of them don't know the RHOP season 5 doll. Honey, we were over here fighting. Listen, it's terrible. There always has to be one person that disturbs the vibes, but you don't understand. There are people who they're disturbed by happiness. There are, you have folks who are upset that I smile. There are people who are upset that you have a smile on your face and a song in your heart. Okay. There's always somebody who has to come and spoil the fun, but we get them out of here immediately. So we miss you, Lavette. Yes, Lavette, come on back, honey. We miss you. Where is Lavette? Yes, we need her. Where are you, Lavette? Yes, honey. I was in the gym shopping and laughing at upper poor. Them was laughing at me crazy. Funniest term of 2025. Oh, thank you so much. You said I use upper poor in real life now. Thank you, James. Yes, hey, we're classy base over here. Shout out to Funky Dineva, okay? Oh, one of y'all asked me what lip gloss. Oh, this is Elf. It's a lip oil. It's called Super Neutral. So it's like a cute like nude. It's a really nice color. It looks really good too in person. But yes, honey. Yes, no, you had somebody saying a few recaps ago, they were like, "Oh, you laugh too much." I was like, "Get out of here! Like you're not gonna tell me I can't laugh. Like you laugh too much." I'm like, Do you know how disturbed you are to be mad that somebody's laughing? But you have people where life is whooping their behinds and they just want to take their anger out. You know, they don't get attention in real life, so they want to come here and bust up the fun. It is sad. It's very sad. Okay, so. Child. Oh, what was the context of upper poor? So, okay, so you have to go and watch the live that I did. What was that, last week or the week before? Then when the news broke about Candy and Todd and their divorce. One of my subscribers, James Potts III, said it and had the whole entire live, like we were screaming laughing. Wait, was it that live or was it the one? It was the live where Mia was arrested for stealing that couch. He said it then. It was that live. Go back and watch that live with Mia being arrested for stealing the couch, and then you'll get why he said it. It was hilarious. So yes, the Mia live. Thank you, y'all. Yes, I love that we have our own lore. Okay, thank y'all. Thank y'all for correcting me. Yes, it was the Mia's arrest live. It was the Mia's arrest live. Honey, listen, you have folks so miserable. Hey, No Chaser, how are you, honey? We have an icon in the building, honey. Listen, you have folks so miserable, child. Yes, honey, we had upper poor, mangy cat, robbing the Joneses. Baby, y'all were on 20 in that live. I cannot stop laughing. But no, who was that who said that? Her name was Nadira. She had everybody in tears with that. I couldn't even speak. I couldn't even read her super chat. That's how funny it was. That live was lit. My line sisters were like, "What is mangy cat?" They call me a upper poor. Please go back and watch the live. When you see the comment, you're going to scream. It was too good. Hey, Kadaya to Torre, thank you for the super chat. I don't know why, but paying a man monthly is nightmare fuel. It is. You do know why, because it's not right. You shouldn't be paying a man's way. So, that's a nightmare. That's a mess. Oh no, I'm not. I am not in the Divine Nine. I'm not. I know. I get asked that all the time. I'm not. Oh goodness. Oh honey, robbing the Joneses had me melted. That live needs to be on the Hall of Fame. So like that live was everything. But it's between that live, because no, it was that live, and then the live where one of y'all said the live about the SpongeBob, when one of y'all said the one when I started crying on the live, was that about Wendy and Eddie and the 40 credit cards and the aliases, and then one of y'all said they're going to be working at the Krusty Krab. Whatever you said was so funny. I started crying on the live. I said, you guys y'all have me screaming. But yes, that live, Mia's arrest live, and the live where we talked about the makeup artist who would not leave that wedding, and then the live about the woman who flew herself out with for the throat spray. The throat spray girl, that live that's actually one of my all-time favorite lives. The throat spray girl live was so good. That was so good. Hey, Butterfly Bites. Thank you for the super chat. My first super chat to you. Oh, thank you. You keep it clean, chic, and classy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Oh my gosh. The Levette live had me screaming. And then the no. Now the live, no, one live that I was really upset with, and I might take it down. That Miami live a few months ago when y'all started fighting in the chat. I said, y'all had me about to put you guys on punishment. The way y'all were fighting in that chat, I said, this makes no sense. And then a few weeks ago, the Potomac live, the Potomac recap for whatever episode that was, episode 7, and I had all those trolls jump out. I said, oh no, what is this? Oh no. Yes, Kate Gate was a hot mess. A live ranking of the lies. Oh, I'm screaming. We should have a top 5 list. Top 5. What's top 10? What's top 30? Brooke, you had to run back the best lives of the year. Oh, that would be good. Okay. No, leave that fight up. Leave that up because before the fight, I was crying with the laughs. Child, I need to go back to the cake live. Baby, y'all were squabbling down. Listen, exactly. I said I will never discuss age or cake again. The way I still cannot believe till this day that turned into a whole thing. That was a hot mess. Child, that was a hot mess. I was there, baby. That was so, like, what happened? I was like, are you guys okay? I said, what is going on? Like, did y'all start drinking early? Like, what happened? It was a full-blown brawl in the comments. I said, what? We don't do that here. I said, take that raggedy mess somewhere else. Oh, that was Potomac. That was last season of no. Yes, no, that was last season that was the reunion part 3. Because it was when Eddie came out with the receipts that TJ was paid by Stacey. And then at the end, we have Naquan with his confession. Child, I said, my God. Yes, it was the Potomac reunion part 3, season 9 live where he dropped that. Okay. I had just joined you, Brooke. I was like, oh my gosh, what did I get into? They were going, and you were too. I said, my mods were fighting. Jameer was in there. I said, what is going on, y'all? It was a hot mess. Listen. I said, I don't know I said, y'all, this is ridiculous. That was your first live? Jesus. Naquan took his aunt's man down. Sleeping with his aunt's husband, child. I said, Naquan, if you're watching this, I hope you're okay. And come back. Well, send me an email and let me know that you're okay, and let me know the update to that. And I'll read it aloud to everybody else on the next live. So Naquan, if you're watching this in secret, hit me up on the email. I know my email's for business inquiries, but hit me up via email. Let me know that you're okay. And you said, he hasn't been back since that. No update. He has not been back. Yeah. I said, we have true confessions on here, child. Listen. Yeah, the whole live was gagged. They were like, wait, we were all like, excuse me? Like, what did you just say? So, oh no, stop. Why would you say that? Oh my gosh. There's a comment. I'm not gonna highlight your comment. Look at Dialo 9482. Look at the comment, please. Stop. Now, where are they now special? Oh my God, we need a compilation. Yeah, y'all are good. No, y'all are good and grown. Don't act like you found out about it first here. No, stop it. Oh, now you want to pin this on me. Stop it. Oh my And then one of y'all talk about, oh, I mentioned that to my husband, and he was like, "What do you know about that?" And I said, "The Brooke Ashley." I said, "Girl, you over here married. You know what that is. Stop it." It's not true. Y'all are good and grown. Y'all are not out here naive. So stop it. Y'all were watching before you found me. So please stop. Oh my gosh. Y'all will not sit up here and do this. Y'all, the lies y'all tell. The lie, y'all will not pin this on me. Not you. Right? They're trying to pin this on me, honey. They're trying to pin this on me, okay? Yes, exactly. Let them know. Let them know, Greg. Exactly. They're trying to pin this on me. Talk about, oh, y'all are good and grown. Please. Some of y'all are probably the same age as me, a few years younger, older. Please. And y'all better stop it. Y'all are not telling the truth. Okay, please. All right. Okay. They were sitting up there. Y'all, please, y'all better stop. Y'all were sitting up there, 10 years old, fifth grade, with late at night, parents asleep, ear to the door. You had that remote on last, last was on Cartoon Network, and you were watching. Stop it. You watching Stop it. And you want to talk about you want to blame. Stop. Knock it off. Y'all were sitting up there, Cartoon Network on last. Oh, Brooke, the Amex card gate was lit. Top 5. Oh no, yeah, that was another good live. Yeah, listen, child. Yes, okay. Okay, you'll not stop. Don't pin this on me. You see how folks do you. Oh my gosh, y'all are so funny. Look, see? Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Y'all are you forgot about that part of your childhood. Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys have me screaming. Please. I was like, listen, child, please, how are you married talking about child? I said, I said, girl, don't sit up here and talk about, oh, I learned that from Brooke. I said, girl, you got a ring on your finger, girl. You know something. Please. Brooke, don't put me on blast because I definitely had that back button on the remote. You had Disney Channel on last, and you need to turn that TV off just in case. And you better hope that the batteries of the remote don't freeze up or fall out the remote, and your parents come in. Okay, please. All right. Y'all sit up here and play if you want to. Okay. So you knew that remote settings. Oh my gosh. The remote work is crazy. My anxiety would have been through the roof. You said it wrong. I have my own cell phone. Oh my gosh. You guys are so funny. You guys. You said watching with the volume on 3. Looking like this, like sleeping. Okay, please. Child, all right. You guys are so funny. Everybody is so silly today. You said volume turned down to 1, honey. They said 3 is too loud. What are you talking about? It was on 1. It was really on mute. You said, well, this took a turn. Well, you must be new here. It always takes a turn. Oh no. I am screaming. I am literally screaming. You guys are so funny. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. Lord have mercy. Oh Lord. Okay, y'all. Did I miss any super chat? Oh, you said not saying I'm not entertained. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Honey, these lives go everywhere and I love it. Yes. Okay. But y'all, ooh, the candy news with him trying to now, I guess, fight the prenup. Am I surprised? Do you want me to do a separate live about Candy and Todd and this new news? You guys always want to live, so you guys want to cut up. That's why. Please go live at Todd and Candy. All right, let me 6:51. Let me just make some dinner, and then we'll be back. Okay, let me take a breather, and then But y'all, I had a great time talking to you guys about Potomac. I will see you all for Candy and Todd and the scandal of it all. I'm sure I'll see you all tomorrow because I forgot Wendy's court hearing is tomorrow. So I'm sure you might see me a lot tomorrow. So let me just get off here now and I will see you all later. I hope you guys had a good time. I will see y'all in a bit. Okay. All right. Bye guys. Y'all always keep me laughing, okay? It's always a good time here. But I will see you later for Candy and Todd and the breaking news about that.